This is probably going to be the last video I will do for this, because I have to tell you guys right now, I have completed every single Riddler trophy in the game, including physical challenges. So we have Park Row, Amusement Mile, Industrial District, Subway, the Bowery, Steel Mill, Museum, and Wonder City. And there's the physical challenges. So everything's done. I did make sure, I did want to do this, got every Riddler trophy, so I just want to say that it is two of the things that will not be shown on camera. If you can hear it in the background, that's Calendar Man. Now, Calendar Man I do on my own because I visited him on those days, and then there's the Catwoman loot stuff which is left. But other than that, the whole game is done for me. But those two things I just mentioned will not be shown in gameplay wise. So without further ado, this video is going to be, of course, the last piece of Arkham City, which is the tapes, stories, bios, all that good stuff. So let's kick this off, get this out of the way, and finally end Batman Return to Arkham, Arkham City. So here they all are, all the bios. And we're going to start things up with none other than the Caped Crusader himself, Batman. Real name Bruce Wayne. Occupation world's greatest detective. Based in Gotham City. Eye color blue. Hair color black. Height 6 feet 2 inches. Weight 210 pounds. First appearance Detective Comics number 27, May 1939. When his parents were gunned down in front of him, young Bruce Wayne resolved to rid Gotham City of the criminal element that took their lives. He trained extensively to achieve mental and physical perfection, in addition to mastering martial arts, detective techniques, and criminal psychology. Dressing as a bat to prey on criminals' fears, Batman fights crimes with the aid of specialized gadgets and vehicles, operating of his secret Batcave below Wayne Manor. Trained in physical and mental peak, arsenal of gadgets and vehicles, and advanced technology, inventor, detective, genius level intelligence, expert in most known forms of martial arts, trained in all aspects of criminology. Yeah, close enough. Bruce Wayne. Real name Bruce Wayne. Occupation CEO, philanthropist. Based in Gotham City. Eye color blue, hair color black, height 6 feet 2 inches, weight 210 pounds. First appearance Detective Comics number 27, May 1939. Thought he'd be lighter than Batman because he has the suit off. Bio. Born in the wealthy Wayne family, Bruce Wayne had idyllic childhood. But after witnessing his parents' violent murder in Crime Alley, Bruce Wayne dedicated his life to battling criminals. He circled the globe for years, training his mental and physical abilities to their peak. Gotham City welcomed him home, not knowing that high society's favorite billionaire playboy is also the Batman. Bruce Wayne has never been into politics, but Batman alone has not been able to stop Arkham City's construction, and so he has had no choice but to use his alter ego and invest millions to bring enough political pressure to bear. It's a ticking time bomb waiting to explode into the streets of Gotham. So these bios are different to the Arkham Asylum ones because they're actually involved in the Arkham City events, which is a nice way of doing it. It's a different way, but it's a nice way. Attributes: billionaire playboy by day, Batman by night, and of course Gotham's most eligible bachelor. Alfred. I'm not sure why they put him as Alfred and Alfred Pennyworth, because they did Bruce Wayne as full. Oh well. Real name Alfred Pennyworth. Occupation butler. Based in Gotham City. Eye color blue. Hair color grey. Formerly black. I thought it'd be formerly brown, but oh well. Height 6 feet. Weight 160 pounds. First appearance Batman number 16, April, May 1943. After a varied career, Alfred Pennyworth was employed at the Wayne family's butler. When Bruce Wayne's parents were killed, Alfred raised the young orphan and reluctantly aided him on his quest to become the Batman. Alfred's many skills, ranging from cooking to combat medicine, making him Batman's staunchest ally, along with formal demeanor that grounds the Dark Knight and deflects those who might otherwise suspect Bruce Wayne's true identity. Skilled actor, trained in emergency medical techniques, Proficiency with mechanical and computer systems, expert in domestic sciences, unflappable manner. And now for Oracle. Real name Barbara Gordon, occupation information broker, based in Gotham City, eye colour blue, hair colour red, height 5 feet 11 inches, weight 126 pounds, just appearance comics number 359, January 1967. I'm assuming that is about Oracle's issue number because it's 359, it's kind of a later issue. It's not about Batgirl, it's more about Oracle, I would assume. The daughter of Gotham City's police commissioner James W. Gordon, Barbara Gordon was forbidden by her overprotective father from joining the GCPD. Instead, she took on the identity of Batgirl and was a crime-fighting partner of Batman for years. But that all ended when the Joker shot her through the spine. Paralyzed from the waist down and confined to a wheelchair, Barbara adopted the new identity of Oracle and now aids the Dark Knight with her computer expertise, providing Batman a constant stream of information in the field to aid his battle against crime. Etiquette memory, recall of everything she sees and reads. Extensive headquarters in Gotham City's clock tower, which is funny because I like how these two games are connected, so it makes sense in Arkham Knight. High level hacking and computer skills. Makes sense. So she's kind of like Alfred, just I feel like she does it more than him. So she's another Alfred now. Robin. Real name Tim Drake, occupation student, based in Gotham City, eye colour blue, hair colour black. Now I was curious about this because in the Arkham Knight he doesn't have hair. So this is before. So does this mean they were planning to have his hair and did they forget? I don't know. Or he could have shaved it off. Height 5 feet 10 inches, weight 170 pounds. First appearance Batman number 436, August 1989. Because that's Tim Drake, isn't it? Young Tim Drake was in the audience the night the Flying Graysons were murdered. Where he witnessed Batman leap to the scene, inspired by Batman's heroics, Tim closely followed the chronicles of Batman and Robin, eventually deducing their secret identities using his self-taught detective skills. Tim convinced Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson, now Nightwing, that a new Robin was needed in the never-ending battle for justice. Tested by the Dark Knight himself with a grueling training regimen, Tim earned the right to become Robin and has since lived up to the name. Good for you. Keen detective skills, trained to fight crime by Batman, arsenal of gadgets and advanced technology. Very good. Jim Gordon. Now this is the Jim Gordon I don't really like, as in his voice actor. He's probably the weakest Gordon up to 4, because in the Arkham games, Arkham Asylum is the best for me, then I go with Knight and then, well, Origins and then this guy. But he's okay. Real name James W. Gordon, occupation police commissioner, based in Gotham City, eye colour blue, hair colour white, formerly brown, height 6 feet, weight 180 pounds, first appearance Detective Comics number 27, May 1939. Now as for his hair colour, it did change back to brown, so I'm assuming he dyed it probably. Anyway, let's go to bio. Police Commissioner James W. Gordon dedicated his career to cleaning up the corruption in the Gotham City Police Department, a goal he has come a long way towards accomplishing. He is equally tough on crime, and in the pursuit of making Gotham City safe for all its citizens, Gordon has forged an uneasy alliance with Gotham's other top crime fighter, the mysterious vigilante known as Batman. In the wake of Mayor Sharp's establishment of Arkham City and Tiger Guards assuming most law enforcement roles, Gordon has been increasingly marginalized, but he remains an ally to the Batman. I'm guessing he's like manipulated or something. Maybe he stays strong. Experienced police officer, trained criminologist, proficient in hand-to-hand fighting, expert marksman. Expert marksman? Okay, if you say so. I don't mean buy it. Finally, Mr. Freeze and some interview tapes. So let's kick it off.
Prisoner's here, sir.
Very good. Send him in.
But we haven't got the suit off him yet. He's dangerous. Are you sure?
Of course. Victor Freeze and I have much in common. We will be fine. Welcome to my facility. Please, take a seat.
I prefer to stand. Why am I here?
Oh, Victor, there will be plenty of time for that later. Right now, I wish to get to know you. Discover how you came to have such a frosty outlook on life.
I have nothing to say to you. You may have taken my weapons, but my suit still has considerable offensive capabilities. I will freeze the marrow in your legs. Each bone will shatter and fracture while you remain completely aware of your impending paralysis, begging me to end you.
I don't think that you will do that, Victor.
Really? Why not?
Simple. If you hurt me, your wife will die.
Hugo knows how to manipulate the villain.
Nora is in safe hands. Now, let's discuss an incident from your childhood.
No.
Then this is over. Guard.
Wait. What do you wish to learn?
Your early years were troubled.
I was not a sociable child, but that is all.
Even your parents disowned you. They sent you away to a reform school, correct?
They did not understand my work.
Your work? According to a police report, you froze over a dozen
Pardon me?
of your neighbor's pets.
I have always had an interest in cryonic preservation. I didn't understand why my parents allowed our sick pets to die instead of attempting to save them. So I set about finding my own way. I intended to revive all of those creatures.
But you didn't. Which brings us to Nora.
Yeah, how I like how Mr. Freeze talks about, he gets this idea from when he was little, he froze pets, and that's how he uses the idea on his wife. So it's a good click. Number 3.
Have you ever seen a flower die? Watched something that was once so beautiful, so full of life, collapse and rot from within?
You refer to Nora's illness.
It seems like yesterday when I first found her. It all happened so quickly. Suddenly, I was losing her.
Did you seek help? What about your employer, Gothcorp?
I hid it from them, diverting resources from Gothcorp's research in an attempt to find the cure. But in the end, I failed. Time was running out. I knew that if I was discovered, Nora would die.
Why take that risk?
Do you know what it is to love someone? To really love them?
No.
Nora was all I could think of. I reran the diagnostics, re-examined every detail from every angle, certain that I had missed something. I cursed myself for being so blind, so stupid. Surely there was a cure. I just needed more time. And I realized what I had to do.
That's number 3. Hi, Fantastic.
I had worked without sleep for a week. My needs didn't seem important. Sleep didn't matter. Food didn't matter. There was only her. I looked at Nora and I told her that I loved her. She told me there was nothing I could do, that we should just accept fate. She smiled her beautiful smile as she said, I promised to cure her. And then I pressed the button.
You cryogenically froze her, keeping her on ice, so to speak, while you worked on a cure. It broke your heart, but now you had all the time in the world. Did you feel relief?
I went home and fell into a deep sleep. For the first time since we discovered Nora's illness, I dared to dream. But for weeks I had ignored my superior's attempts to contact me. The next morning I overslept. By the time I got to the lab, Ferris Boyle, the CEO, was there waiting.
What did he do?
He accused me of industrial guards found Nora. Boyle told me that, to him, I was enraged. I attacked him. His guards beat me back, and in the struggle, I was drenched by the cryogenic chemical I had created. I lay on the floor, helpless, watching the guards steal Nora away. Boyle told me it was a tragedy for such a promising mind to perish in a lab accident. Then he left me to die.
But you survived.
The chemicals were absorbed into my body and transformed my metabolism. My body went numb. I felt a strange tingling, then searing pain all over. Each breath ignited my lungs. I clawed my way back to a refrigeration unit, and as I closed the door behind me, I felt the icy chill calm my aching body. Things suddenly seemed clear.
What seemed clear? Finding a cure for Nora?
No. Revenge. Boyle would pay.
There was a lot of static on that last tape before it ended, but you know, I feel sorry. These tapes for Mr. Freeze, they do explain his character really well, and it's sad that he's manipulating by Hugo again.
You failed to kill Ferris Boyle, though, didn't you?
Yes.
Why?
You know why. Batman. Though he did return Nora to safety, until you got him.
See? There you go. Blame me, blame your parents because you failed to revive the neighbor's pets. Blame Ferris Boyle for spoiling your plans to cure Nora. Blame Batman for stopping your revenge against Boyle. And now, your Nora is in danger.
Because of you.
No, Victor. Because of you. You have always had a heart of ice. You stole people's pets. You stole Gothcorp resources. And since then, you've stolen so much more for your own selfish scientific inquiries. If you had shared your genius with others, devoted your energy to medicine instead of crime, perhaps your ice princess would be at home now, preparing you a hot meal instead of being delivered to the Joker.
No.
You could have saved Nora a long time ago, Victor.
It's all for her. Everything. I will get her back. And when I do, I'm coming for you.
Thank you. We are done now.
Nora.
So that's how he figures out that Joker's got his wife, and we know why, because Joker wants him to make a cure for him. So yeah, that answers all the questions I had about Mr. Freeze, and now we can read all his information. Real name, Dr. Victor Freeze. Occupation, professional criminal, based in Gotham City. Eye colour blue, hair colour none. Height, 6 feet, 3 inches. Weight, 190 pounds. First appearance, Batman number 121. February, 1959. And I've seen 190 pounds because of the suit, probably. Victor Freeze was a brilliant cryogeneticist, whatever, whose beloved wife, Nora, was stricken with a fatal degenerative disease. He placed her in suspended animation while obviously searching for a way to cure her, but the corporation that funded his research pulled the plug, triggering an accident that transformed Freeze's body into a cold-blooded form that must always be kept below zero. At normal room temperature, he will die. Wielding a number of freezing weapons, he wears protective armor in his quest to somehow bring back his lovely wife and avenge his fate. Since the opening of Arkham City, Mr. Freeze has seemingly disappeared. Because he's all, I like how Mr. Freeze was built up for this game. He is actually a main character role in the game, because everyone's depending him to make this one cure, which makes all the difference. He's the only doctor. Okay, I know Hugo is there, but Hugo can make a cure for the clown, and he's been sending doctors, but it seems that Mr. Freeze is the only doctor who seems capable of making this cure. So he's like stuck in between the crossfire, and everyone's using his wife as leverage, which is sad. He's a villain you feel sad for. Some scientific genius with a specialty in cryonics. cryonics, employs an extensive array of cryoweaponry, permanently altered to survive into a sub-freezing state, wears a protective freezing armor, motivated by grief over the fate of his wife Nora. And moving on to Penguin. Let the tapes begin.
I'm only benefit from a little talk, Mr. Cobblepot.
Don't try that psycho mumbo-jumbo with me, Strange. I'm not like the other crazies.
Of course not. After all, considering the challenges you faced.
Challenges? What freaking challenges? You're no better than me. No one is. I own this place.
Well, to be clear, I allow you certain freedoms, but let's continue. Why do you feel the need to own anything? I believe it is a mechanism to compensate for some childhood inadequacy. You were friends with the Waynes, correct?
I was. Till someone did the world a favor and blew the brains out of little Wayne's self-righteous parents. I was laughing for weeks. It still brings a smile to my face.
And you think that's okay?
Okay? No, I don't think it's okay. I think it's bloody hysterical. That family destroyed mine. What happened to them? Well, it couldn't have happened to nicer people.
Yep, we get it, Penguin. You hate the Waynes.
Take a seat, Mr. Cobblepot.
What is it now, Strange?
I wanted to talk about your apparent hatred of the Waynes. Your outburst last time was most interesting.
Oh, it's simple, really. I don't like this sniveling little bastard. Look at him. All high and mighty because someone killed Mummy and Daddy.
Most people look upon him with sympathy.
No, they don't. They're jealous. Jealous of his money, his cars, his women. He lost the sympathy vote when he vanished for all those years. I can't tell you how much I owed him his visiting his dear Mum and Dad.
Where do you suppose he went?
How am I supposed to know?
Let us move on, then.
No. It's time that you do something for me.
And what is that?
Here's a list.
List. While I'm taking on these tapes, I need to remind you guys, back when I did Batman Arkham Asylum, I missed out one character, and that was Frank Boyles from the first game. I know he was like quite a major role in that game. Sadly, I missed him though, but oh well. I just want to say it now in case you guys are looking back at that video and wondering why wasn't Frank Boyles said. That's why, because I missed him out. But anyway, back onto these tapes. Was that on tape 3?
Told you, Strange. No more little questions until you give me what I want.
Take a look, Mr. Cobblepot. Here is a purchase order for the various firearms you require. I must say, you chose an exotic selection.
I only take the best.
A wise strategy.
So what's yours?
Excuse me?
What are you up to? Why would you give me of all people, guns, explosives, all this stuff?
Arkham City is an experiment, Mr. Cobblepot. A new way of thinking. We've separated you from society, so I am more than willing to study the results if you all just decide to kill each other. Besides, your feud with the Joker is intriguing.
I was here first. I bought my museum in the Iceberg Lounge, fair and square. It was you and that mayor who stuck us all together.
Again, you refer to owning things. Quite fascinating. I believe we gave you the opportunity to leave.
And take over my turf. Never.
Penguin's one of those underdog characters that he always thinks he deserves more, and he was once top of the class, and he's kind of an underdog character.
Good evening, Mr. Cobblepot. I trust you received the second delivery.
Yeah, I did. I don't know what you did to those dribbling monkeys, Strange, but they were perfect.
I'm glad. It appears that we can both help each other.
If you say so. I suppose it doesn't hurt that by the time I'm done with them, they're usually in too many pieces for anyone to know what you're really getting up to in those rooms of yours.
I have no idea what you are talking about.
Of course not. So, Hugo. The clown. She really dying?
It appears so. Self-inflicted, of course, but yes, he is. He has Mr. Freeze working on a potential cure, but I am sure neither of us want him to get his hands on it, do we?
There he is, trying to manipulate him to help him. Which is twisted, because later I do remember that he tries to help Joker, and he's manipulating every villain, twisting each string. It's very creative. But in this tape, I do like the fact that he brings up the Penguin mentions the Joker dying, and now you could think, oh, he's probably happy, but maybe he's secretly sad because he's going to lose the person that he had a rivalry with, and that kind of maybe it could make him feel sad. I don't know, it could be. You never know what's lying under the surface.
We're ready.
Good. Now, one last thing. Your face.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
The eye. I believe it was the result of a bar brawl, correct?
Ah, Torag got lucky. He got his, though. He took my eye. I took both of his. Left him trying to walk across the Gotham freeway at rush hour. Hilarious.
You're a rich man, Mr. Cobblepot. You could have had that glass removed.
They said it was impossible. And what the hell? I think it gives me a more unique look. Know what I mean? Now, where is Freeze?
He's right here, in the room next door. You can take him with you. Are you familiar with the term Napoleon complex?
No. What is it?
It's nothing. Oh, and one last thing. Here is a list of 10 prisoners I believe work for you.
Yeah? So what? You want to saw their heads open and scoop out their brains too?
No. I just thought you'd like to know that they are all in the employ of the GCPD.
What?
I believe you know what to do with them. I don't like being spied on, Mr. Cobblepot. Good night.
And thus he figured out, and that's how the GCPD incident was set up. And the Mr. Freeze incident was set up. I'm surprised that he was taken to Penguin with such ease, but kind of now we know Hugo did it with a little helping from him. But how does he yeah, I get why he gets him, because of Hugo. He takes him to the museum, where he knocks him out, maybe puts something in his suit. But how does he get him out of the suit and take him all across the museum to another exhibit without dying? I don't know. Unless that little supply he has in him is keeping him alive, probably. That's the only explanation I can got for it. Let's go on with his information and stuff. Real name, Oswald Chesterfield Cobblepot. Occupation, black market racketeer. Based in Gotham City, eye colour blue, hair colour black. I thought it was like a dark brown. Height 4 feet 10 inches, weight 175 pounds. First appearance to the comics number 58, December 1941. The Penguin is an eccentric criminal mastermind known for his shady business dealings. Born in the wealthy Cobblepot family, Oswald was sent overseas for a school as a boy. When his family hit hard times, Cobblepot immersed himself in a criminal education on the streets of London. Years later, he re-emerged as the Penguin, a black market arms dealer in Gotham, facilitating the illegal financial activities that fund much of the city's underworld. The Penguin aims to be prospering within Arkham City as the leader of its emerging black market. Criminal and financial mastermind, expert hand-to-hand combatant, driven to prove himself, employs various weapons. Okay, I don't buy the expert hand-to-hand combatant. Does he look like a guy who can kick ass? I mean, I know he's done it in the Batman show, but this Penguin doesn't. In this reality, it doesn't look like he's capable of doing that. And I knew he punched in the beginning with brass knuckles, but that was just like a one-off punch thing. I don't know. Do you see him as an expert hand-to-hand fighter? You can leave your thoughts on that. But let's move along to Hugo Strange. And he only has one interview tape, but it's the best one of them all. Play it.
How does it feel, Wayne, to stand on the very stones that ran with your parents' blood? Do you feel sad, full of rage? Or does that outfit help bury your feelings? hiding your true self. Oh, you are a truly extraordinary specimen. I look forward to breaking you.
Just that one tape makes all the difference. Finding it in that crime alley, the music helps it make it even more. Yep, Hugo Strange now just where's to push the buttons, especially on Batman. Real name Hugo Strange, occupation psychiatrist, based in Gotham City, eye color grey, hair color grey, height 5 feet 10 inches, weight 180 pounds, first appearance to the comics number 36, February 1940. Infamous psychiatrist Hugo Strange claims to have unique insight of the criminal mind from the years of clinical study. He persuaded Mayor Sharp that the Arkham City project was the only way for Gotham City to eliminate crime and rogue vigilantes like Batman. Rumors persist of Strange performing ethically dubious experiments on inmates without consent, but unless hard proof comes to light, the Gotham public is happy to credit Strange with their dramatically reduced crime rate. Strange knows that Batman will hunt him down. He's counting on it. Trained to physical perfection. Okay. Brilliant psychological analyst. Extensive knowledge of psychoactive substances. Obsessed with Batman and Batman's secret identity. Plagued by schizophrenic episodes. So yeah, he's a quite an underrated villain. I think I should have put him on my Batman top 10 villains list, but I'll give him an honourable mention right now. Harley Quinn. Too bad she's not played longer by Arlene Circuit, but Tara Strong's okay. Real name Dr. Harleen F. Quinzel. Wonder what the F stands for. Professional criminal, occupation professional criminal. Based in Gotham City, eye color blue, hair color blonde, height 5 feet 7 inches, weight 140 pounds. First appearance Batman, Harley Quinn number 1, October 1999. An Arkham Asylum psychiatrist assigned to treat the Joker, Dr. Harleen Quinzel instead became obsessively fixated on her patient, believing herself to be in love with him. She helped him escape and took on her own criminal identity as Harley Quinn. Quinn is a violent and unpredictable felon whose only motivation is achieving the Joker's approval. Because of his cruel and mercurial nature, this in some ways makes her just another one of his victims, a blight to a various dangers, albeit a very dangerous one. Since the Joker's Titan overdose in Arkham Asylum, Harley's mind has further deteriorated. She is blindly determined to put a smile back on his face. Surprising strength and stamina. Yeah, just another one of the Joker's victims, really. Not really his girlfriend, more of... She loves him, but he's just playing around with her, you know. It's just a one-way love thing to me. That's how it works. And now for the Clown Prince of Crime himself. We'll start off with his phone calls.
Whoa! I can't believe I didn't think of this earlier. A hotline straight to my bestest friend in the world. Just think, I can call you up whenever I get bored. I think our relationship is really maturing here. The next thing you know is we'll be exchanging emails or meeting up for romantic dinners.
You have one missed call.
Ring, ring. I was just remembering when it first occurred to me. It was about 6 months out back at the asylum. As the bones knitted back together, I had plenty of time to think. So how do you keep a secret from the world's greatest detective? Well, do you know? It's easy. You stick it right in front of him, right under his long, pointy nose. And wait.
Yeah, sure, Kermit, we can play it. Yeah, after I've done this video. Where was I? Number 3?
I hope you're doing your best here, Babs, because I just had a horrible thought. We can both actually die here tonight. Fortunately, the odds are weighted in my favor, but just imagine how you'll feel if I'm gone. It's not like you're not lonely enough, right? All that brooding is not good for you, you know. You have someone to go home to each morning? And I don't mean that kid you drag across the rooftops. I mean someone real. Someone you can talk to. I don't think you do. It's sad, isn't it? You do all this for Gotham, and the only person you can rely on is me.
Now, call number 2 is Joker slightly revealing he's basically saying, how do you keep a secret from the world's greatest detective? And it's right in front of his face. Batman can't put together what's really going on. And number 3, well, wow, it just says it all.
You have 1 missed call.
Hey, been missing you. Get back to me. Laters.
You have 1 missed call.
Hello? I'm not sure that you got my call earlier. I'm just dying to speak to you. Call me, Bats.
You have 1 missed call.
Bats? Seriously? You're making me paranoid. Why aren't you answering my calls? You haven't gone and died on me, have you?
You have 1 missed call.
Look, I know you're not dead. I'm missing a group of my guys down under the tower. Guess that means you know about the guns already. Okay, I admit it, they're mine. Strange gives them to me, okay? Can we be BFFs again?
You have 1 missed call.
Maybe it wasn't you that took out my guys. All right, then. The message I left before, you know, the one I left about the guns, you can ignore it. Just delete it.
You have 1 missed call.
Right. This is getting ridiculous. I've been leaving messages all night. You still haven't got back to me. Who do I need to kill to make a pickup?
You have 1 missed call.
At last. Hey, Bats. Where you been? I was just calling to find out how you're feeling. Are you getting the hallucinations yet? I know. It's hard to tell these days. You just never can tell if it's Scarecrow again, that little guy with the hat, my blood running through your veins, or if after all this time you really are actually going crazy.
Joker. I like how he does the whole, oh, I'll tell you about the guns, they're mine. No, don't forget that, because it probably ain't you. Funny, ain't he?
You have 1 missed call.
Hey, Bats, are you okay? I'm sorry I had Harley steal your cure. You were so busy with freezing, she didn't even have time to ask. But don't worry, as soon as that little minx is back here and I've had my share, I'll save some for you. You have to work for it, but it will be right here waiting for you. You probably won't believe this, but I don't really think I can sit back and watch you die. It's selfish, really, but we need each other. Life would be so boring without you. Who would I talk to? Who would really understand me?
True. No one understands him like Batman. So it makes sense why he needs him.
Hello? Anyone in there? No sense of humor. The strong and silent type, eh? Think you're safe behind that mask? Give me 20 minutes and a can opener, and I'll have you whimpering like a schoolgirl. You might like it.
That's enough, patient. Guard, leave us.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Professor Hugo Strange. And you are?
Two-Face. Catwoman. Batman.
We can play these games as long as you like.
Great. I love games.
Not in my facility, you won't. I'm offering you this opportunity to make a deal. I'm fully aware of your condition. The last thing you have is time. But I can make your final days more comfortable.
And in return, I'd be giving you...
I wish to study you. I need to know why you are the way you are.
I don't have long, Doc. You're going to need more than some psycho mumbo-jumbo to get to the bottom of what's wrong with me.
Oh, I have more than that. Much more. So, do we have a deal? How are you feeling today?
You promised me another doctor, Strange.
Maybe you shouldn't have killed the one I sent last week. What made you do it?
Fish gotta swim, birds gotta fly. Besides, it was worth it to see the look on her face. Hey, you know what? I think I've got a piece of it here in my pocket.
You are trying my patience. That was the third doctor you've killed.
Well, keep on sending them, Doc. I'm trying to break my record.
I think it is time for you to do something for me.
Name it, Doc.
Tell me how you came to be. Explain what made you what you are today. How you come to be sitting across the table from me. Dying.
Is that all? Well, I guess you could say I once had a very bad day.
Really? Go on.
It was a Thursday night. Things had been getting worse. I was 3 days from the bank foreclosing on my home. The chemical plant I worked nights at was about to lay off half the workforce. And I was sitting in the hospital, holding the hand of my pregnant wife, wishing to God that she wasn't dead.
That must have been upsetting for you.
Probably was. Back then, though, all I knew was that if I didn't let old man Falcone's men into the plant that night, they'd have killed me too. So here's the thing. I had to decide. Could I live without her? Was there any point going on? I've got to admit it. I was scared. Not of being dead, you understand.
No one would blame you if you were. It is perfectly common.
Do I look common? No. I was scared of the part just before you die, when you don't know what is about to happen, when you're desperately clutching at life and trying to hold on with slippery, blood-covered hands. So I made a decision right there.
And what was that?
That is a story for another day, Strange. I think I may need to see a doctor. Get me one.
He wants more information.
You were telling me about the night your wife died.
Oh, no, Hugo. As I recall, I was waiting for you to send me another doctor.
We both know I have sent you 3 more doctors.
Did you?
Yes. One was left dismembered outside the elevator to my office. The other 2 have not been seen since they were sent to you.
How careless. Listen, Doc.
Professor.
Okay, Professor. I'll give you a little more. I just hope you're taking notes. It's the day after, and I'm standing in the freezing rain, just staring at the chemical plant, feeling numb. Jeannie was dead. It didn't seem real. I can remember the day I first met her infectious smile as I told her bad joke after bad joke. How, even after living with the pathetic wretch I was, she still wanted my child. And then they arrived. Reality's way of yanking me another wedgie. Falcone's men told me to cheer up. He said, things could be worse. I asked him how. He grabbed me by the collar, pulled me close. He'd been eating garlic, and each word stank as he threatened to perform oral surgery on me with a nail and a brick. A creative guy. They hand me a box. I remember thinking it was heavy. Was it a bomb? A gun? I'd never used a gun before. Were they that heavy?
And what was in the box?
How's that doctor coming along?
I'll get you one.
And when you do, I'll tell you the rest.
He's getting intrigued, Hugo is. Mind you, the Joker does say he tells multiple choice of stories, but this is kind of similar to the... I think we know where the story is going, but it sounds doesn't it sound familiar to the one he always tells?
You are looking a little better, yes.
Well, I have my good days and bad days, but I do try and start each one with a smile.
Are you ready to continue your story?
Yeah, why not? So where was I?
The box.
Ah, yes, the box. So there I was, tearing open this box, expecting the worst. And all it had in it was a crazy red dome and a cloak. I thought they were having a joke with me, but oh no. They made me put it on. They said it was a disguise. It would keep me safe. It smelled like garlic. And that was it, really. I was dressed up like a spaceman, barely able to see, trying to break into the one place in this town that had given me a job. Have you ever tried to walk with an enormous fishbowl on your head? Don't answer that. It's hard. I couldn't see where I was going. I must have tripped one of the alarms. I heard muffled gunfire. I panicked and tried to run. And then I saw him. Who? That man.
Really?
Yes, really. Batman tried to hit me. I moved out of the way, but, well, what you need to understand is I had this giant bowl on my head, and I lost my balance. It's like life, really. One minute everything's bad. The next your wife's dead and you're hanging on for dear life, suspended over a tank of experimental chemicals. I'm sure he'd say he tried to save me, but we all know he didn't. I fell. For a second, just as I hit the surface, I thought I may just get away with this.
I assume that wasn't the case.
Do I look like I got away with it?
Here's the story I thought it would be.
I was drowning. The chemicals were burning my skin. My entire body felt like it was on fire. It was all his fault.
Whose fault? Batman's?
Who else?
Yours?
Come again?
Let me tell you what I believe. I believe that you have fabricated a series of events that you use to conceal the truth about your condition. I have read 12 different accounts of your past. All different, except for one detail. Batman.
What can I say? I like to keep things interesting. A wise man once told me that if you have to have an origin story, you're better off making it multiple choice.
And never facing up to the truth of what happened. What you did. How you got here.
Oh, I know exactly how I got here. A big truck brought me here from Arkham. You remember the asylum, don't you?
Of course.
Well, good. Because I'd hate to think that I'd fabricated seeing you watching me in my cell all those times.
Excuse me?
Hugo, you merry maniac. You were obsessed with me. You all were trying to get in here. Next thing you'll tell me it wasn't you who sent old Sharpie over the edge. Nice work, by the way.
Thank you.
So here's the thing. If you want to make sure that no one else finds out about your past, you should start poking your nose into mine. Oh, and send me another doc. I think I need a second opinion.
That was a good talk about the Joker. That was my tin. That was a good talk about the Joker. Kind of what I expected from him. But he does always talk about that story a lot, even in The Killing Joke. But one detail is the same. Batman. Real name unknown. Professional criminal. Occupation professional criminal. Based in Gotham City. Eye color green. Hair color green. Height 6 feet. Weight 160 pounds. First appearance Batman #1. Spring 1940. The self-styled clown prince of crime has no superpowers beyond a capacity for or incredible violence and a skill of creating deadly mayhem. Since his last encounter with the Dark Knight, the Joker has been transferred into Arkham City. Eyewitness claims he has stricken with a serious disease, possibly caused by his Titan overdose in Arkham Island. He has been lying low, delivered orders through Harleen Quinzel, so no one can confirm if the Joker is actually poor health or playing another sick joke. Unrepentant homicidal maniac, surprisingly strong hand-to-hand combatant, unknown past, employs various deadly weapons, often based on party gang items, use a fatal toxin that stretches victims' face into a Joker-like grin. Kind of expected from the Joker. And now for Mayor Quincy Sharp.
This is Vicki Vale, coming to you live from the mayor's office in downtown Gotham. Today is your first chance to put questions directly to the mayor. As you know, Mayor Sharp's criminal quarantine program was the main platform that won him the election. Now that the facility is fully operational, does Gotham still feel the same way about it? Are the rumors of prison brutalization true? Are you happy with your tax dollars funding a program like this? More on tonight's show. Welcome, Gotham, to the Vicki Vale Show. And welcome to Gotham's new mayor, Quincy Sharp.
Good evening, Miss Vale.
So, Mr. Mayor, the question I put to you, Arkham City, success or potential powder keg?
What a question, Vicki. You don't mind if I call you Vicki, do you?
Of course not, Quincy.
Well, Vicki, I can only describe the last 6 months as having been a great success. The people spoke. They said they were sick of crime in Gotham. They said they didn't want to place their safety, their children's safety, in the hands of vigilantes like Batman, Nightwing, and there's at least one more.
The Huntress. The Creeper?
Whoever. Listen, Vicki. The people wanted a sane solution, and I've provided one. My administration has taken steps to guarantee the personal safety of each and every member of Gotham, from the rich to the poor, by separating the disgusting criminal element that eats away at our fine city like a cancer, from the good people who want only to live their lives in peace. I have struck a blow that will change this great city forever.
And what do you say to those who campaign against the plan? To those who call it inhumane? I believe the campaign against the zone has its fair share of celebrity members. Take Bruce Wayne, for example.
Mr. Wayne will soon come over to our side. I have great faith. In fact, I have a meeting scheduled with his people for tomorrow. We must never forget that it was filthy degenerates, like the prisoners of Arkham City, who were responsible for murdering Mr. Wayne's family.
Even so, Bruce Wayne doesn't seem to be a huge fan of your plan.
Time will tell, Vicki. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Of course. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
That was what Quincy Sharp, mayor of Gotham City, had to say last week. I wonder how he feels now that Bruce Wayne has been sent into Arkham City.
And speaking of him, we'll go right into him. Real name, Quincy Sharp. Occupation, mayor of Gotham City. Based in Gotham City. Eye color blue. Hair color grey. Height 5 feet 8 inches. Weight 180 pounds. First appearance, Batman Arkham Asylum, August 2009. Great game. Quincy Sharp was the warden of Arkham Asylum on the night that the Joker broke free 18 months ago. Unknown to most, but discovered by the Batman, Sharp suffered from a split personality disorder and had been committing atrocities in the asylum, believing himself to be possessed by the spirit of Amadeus Arkham. In reality, he was being influenced by Hugo Strange, who had provided Sharp with powerful and controlled drugs that allowed him to manipulate Sharp's behavior, enabling him to plant the seed that led to the creation of Arkham City. Hugo Strange used the evidence in the atrocities committed by Sharp as the collateral to make sure that whatever happened, Sharp must remain loyal to him. That's interesting. So according to this, he believed himself to be possessed by the spirit of Amadeus Arkham, when in reality he was influenced by Hugo Strange. So we get an answer to what was really going on back there. It was all Hugo Strange's doing. It was like this big setup. He wanted him to win. He wanted him to come in. Yeah, got it. Intense dedication to clean up Gotham. Pompous and old-fashioned demeanor. Focused on his own political aspirations. And now on to the lovely Vicki Vale. Real name, Vicki Vale. Occupation, investigative journalist. Based in Gotham City. Eye color blue, hair color blonde. Height 5 feet 7 inches. Weight 121 pounds. First appearance, Batman number 49. October/November 1948. Investigative reporter Vicki Vale got her start in Gotham City at the Gotham City Gazette, where she quickly rose to fame for her unwavering commitment to rooting out the ugly truths behind Gotham's corruption and perversity. Focusing more on Batman's deeds, Vicki has recently turned her attention to the opening at Arkham City. She She'll risk her life and limb to portray and danger the prison city possesses to the public, perhaps overly confident that Batman will be there to catch her when she falls. Hard-nosed reporting skills, Gotham's most trusted name in the news. Yeah, makes sense, they trust him more than Jack White, he's a bit crazy anyway. Two-Face, let the tapes begin.
Sit down, Mr. Dent. It is Mr. Dent I'm talking to, right?
Use our real name.
Two-Face, if you wish. Please, sit.
What is it, Strange? Not happy just arresting us, throwing us in this place?
I wish to understand you. I have read the reports, seen the footage, and now I want to hear your side of the story.
We'll see.
I assume that you feel the need to toss your coin in order to decide whether to answer my questions.
You ready to find out?
Well?
Came up bad. Sorry.
Not a problem. Guard, take Mr. Dent's coin off of him.
No!
Good. Now let us see what fate has in store for you.
Oh, I think this is one of my favourite set of interview tapes ever, because Two-Face was originally a good person, but now he's half and half, but his Doc is kind of stronger. So this is a really good set of interview tapes here.
I'll kill you for this.
Really? Look at your coin. It wants you to tell me about that day in the courtroom.
It was painful.
Elaborate.
I was naive. I thought I could make a difference. Falcone was going to go down for what he had done.
But he had other plans.
Look at my face.
I am. A combination of first, second, and third degree burning. Scar tissue is quite fascinating.
You think?
And that is all it took to make you the way you are.
Give me my coin.
Not yet.
He's pushing him.
What is it, Strange? Are you enjoying this?
Not in the slightest. Let's go back further. You were a rising star, a beacon of light for this city. A white knight riding in to save it, with a dark knight not far behind.
You can leave him out of this. He's wrong. They all are. No one understands the beauty of fate's hand. I'm grateful to Falcone. He gave me a clarity, a purity that few will know. Everything boils down to a simple choice. This way or that way. Good or bad.
Do you really believe that?
How could I not?
Interesting. So all you need is this coin, and everything is simple?
Give me it.
What about this coin? Or this? Or these?
What are you doing?
Proving a point. Fate didn't make you answer my question. I did. I replaced your coin with my own. See? You answered me because I wanted you to. How is he today?
The prisoner has been quiet. Since getting those coins, he has spent most of his time examining them.
Good. Hello, Harvey. Are you ready to talk?
Leave us. We don't want to talk. Not to you.
Please, take a seat. I have one last thing to discuss, and then I will give you something in return.
I can't decide. It's too confusing.
Of course it is. I want to talk about Mr. Wayne.
Why?
Indulge me.
We don't like a guy.
Hardly surprising. Did you ever consider that you were alike? A traumatic event created you. An equally traumatic event altered him.
He's nothing like us. There's no risk, no danger. It's just money and girls. We should kill him.
Maybe you should.
Pushing him further.
Listen to me, Harvey. I am going to give you a simple choice. This is your coin.
Is it? Why should I trust you?
It was your father's, correct? You know every inch of it. When you close your eyes, you can feel it, can't you?
Give me it. Please.
I want you to understand what I'm about to tell you. You believe that this coin determines the fate of your world. I, however, believe that your condition has always been present. It was there before you were attacked, and it is still there now. You probably had headaches. Your wife found you unpredictable. Scary sometimes.
Give us it.
I'm going to throw the coin in the air. If you let it fall, I will do whatever I can to cure you. I will help you become the man you used to be.
Or
if you grab it, I will let you loose in Arkham City, and I will tell you what Catwoman is doing right this second.
can't decide.
You have to. At this moment, Catwoman is preparing to steal the contents of the safe in your old campaign office.
The bitch. We need to stop her.
And you may. Goodbye, Mr. Dent.
Yeah, his dark side was stronger. His dark side is stronger, sadly. I do like the fact that Hugo was going to help him, but he knew what the answer was. He knew that the dark side was stronger, so yeah. Like us, he was hoping for the upper. Well, he was going to be more fascinated with the other answer, but no, his dark side is stronger, sadly. Real name Harvey Dent, occupation professional criminal, based in Gotham City. Eye color blue, hair color brown/grey, height 6 feet, weight 182 pounds. First appearance at Comics number 66, August 1942. District Attorney Harvey Dent was one of Batman's strongest allies in Gotham City until a criminal threw acid in Dent's face, hideously scarring him. The wounds fractured his psyche, and he was reborn as Two-Face, a psychiatrist criminal mastermind obsessed with duality. His former good luck charm, a two-headed trick silver dollar, was damaged on one side in the attack, and Dent has seized on it the reflection of his half-scarred visage. He flips it to decide the fate of his victims. Two-Face is thriving in Arkham City, rallying inmates to join his gang using tried and true campaign tactics. Hideously scarred on half of his face, extremely skilled with his twin .45 semi-automatics, psychotic obsession with duality and the number 2, prefers his half-scarred coin in chat of choices of life or death. Moving along to Ra's al Ghul, or Ra's al Ghul if you prefer, but I'm going with Ra's because it's much more name I prefer. Real name unknown, occupation international terrorist, based in Mobile. Eye color green, hair color grey with white streaks, height 6 feet, weight 210 pounds, I'm assuming because of the armor. First appearance, Batman number 232, June 1971. Little is known about the early years of the nearly immortal Ra's al Ghul, leader of the League of Assassins, whose name means the demon's head. He has lived for many centuries due to the Lazarus Pit's mystical and alchemic brews that restore his youth. A brilliant master of strategy and organization, Ra's goal is to save the Earth from the eventual ecological devastation by destroying most of its population. He recognizes Batman as both a worthy foe and a possibly ally, except that Batman cannot accept Ra's dystopic worldview. To bring Batman to his side, Ra's has even orchestrated a relationship between Batman and his beautiful daughter Talia al Ghul. Genius, intelligence and strategist, superior strength and stamina, superb hand-to-hand combatant, nearly immortal thanks to the Lazarus Pits, commands the League of Assassins. So, yeah, very cool. So, I am curious about this character a lot. He does have a lot of potential, and, well, you know, I was expecting him to have some tapes because he was like the partner of Hugo Strange, so he does not. but he was kind of important. Now for his daughter, Talia al Ghul. Real name, Talia al Ghul. Occupation, assassin. Based in Mobile. Eye colour, green. Hair colour, brown. Height, 5 feet 7 inches. Weight, 141 pounds, because of the armour, possibly. But very slim armour. First appearance at the comics, number 411, May 1971. The headstrong daughter of Ra's al Ghul and on-again, off-again lover to Bruce Wayne, Talia al Ghul is second in command of the League of Assassins, a master of hand-to-hand combatants and swordplay. Talia has duelled with Batman on several occasions and considers him an honourable opponent. Despite Batman's elusiveness, her attraction to him has only increased, an attraction that her father encourages in his mad quest to encourage in his mad quest for a male heir. Talia knows that one day she may be forced to choose between her father and her beloved. Trained in stealth and combat by the League of Assassins, ruthless and brilliant tactician, runs legitimate business empires in the League. Now we go into row number 3 with Clayface. Real name, Basil Corlew. Occupation, professional criminal. Based in Gotham City. Eye colour black. Hair colour none. Height 8 feet 2 inches. Weight 410 pounds. First appearance at comics number 40, June 1940. Horror film icon Basil Corlew went mad when he uncovered plans for his most classic film to be remade within a different actor in the lead role. He took on the mask of the film's villain, Clayface, and killed several of the remake's cast and crew before being stopped by Batman and Robin. Later, Corlew stole and injected himself with experimental compounds that transformed him into a mass of living clay who can alter his composition to mimic anything or anyone. Can mimic anything and anyone, extremely difficult to injure or contain, which is very true. And now for the Riddler.
Do not fret, Mr. Mayor. Everything is under control, I promise you.
It's not that I don't trust you, Hugo. It's just the headaches, the pain. They come all the time now.
Continue to take the medication. It is late, Mr. Mayor. You are tired. You need your sleep.
Of course, I need my sleep.
You will hang up now.
I will hang up now.
Imbecile.
I couldn't have put it better myself.
What? How dare you enter my office?
Oh, I'm not in your office. And please don't insult me by attempting to trace this broadcast. You will fail.
I take it I am talking to Mr. Edward Nigma.
Do you know of any other inmate in your twisted little penitentiary who is ingenious enough to arrange this little chat?
Narcissism, a compulsive desire to prove his intellect, and a predilection for riddles.
You've read my file.
Of course.
Good. Then let's get started. How do you attempt to understand what is going on in Arkham City when all of the answers are strange? Good evening, Hugo. I believe it is time for our one-on-one.
No. It is time for you to stop this and give up. My tiger guards will find you, and when that happens, I will perform the procedure on you myself.
Procedure? Oh, you mean with fools back at the asylum. To be honest, I think, and proceeded to melt their brains with the help of that confused and providing the ex-warden with your own special medication. No doubt intended to render his synapses more malleable to your suggestions. Or maybe you are currently wondering if I know about the secret panel in your closet. How it slides back to reveal what you want most. How you sit, wearing that suit, crying into your hands as you question whether you are really worthy.
What do you want, Mr. Nigma?
Oh, that's easy. I want exactly what you want.
And what's that?
Batman, dead. Humiliated,
But dead.
Knock, knock, Professor. Guess who?
I grow tired of these insipid games, Mr. Nigma.
If you wish to speak to me, my guards will escort you safely to my tower.
Please, Hugo. If you're going to set a trap, at least pretend to try harder than that.
No traps, Edward. I simply wish to grant you safe passage through Arkham City. I think the time has come for us to meet as equals.
You, Strange? My equal? I am the man whose cunning will soon have Batman lying at my feet, bloodied and broken.
Really?
Then I will pull off his mask and look into his dull, dying eyes. In that last instant, he will know that I have finally beaten him. And I will finally know who he really is.
My apologies, Edward. I see now we are nowhere near equals.
Finally.
You see, like me, you are obsessed with the Batman. But unlike me, you don't know who he really is, do you?
What?
And now he snaps.
I know you are lying, Strange. There is no way that you could have figured it out. It's some kind of trick. It must be.
Oh, I use no tricks, no childish puzzles. I simply created a psychological profile of the man most likely to be the Batman, and then matched it against the most logical candidate. I was right, of course.
Well, who is he?
Ah, but that would spoil the game for you, wouldn't it?
You must tell me. I implore you, Strange.
Really, Edward? If I could figure it out, it must be child's play for you.
But I...
Interesting. Tell me, Edward, how is the Riddler like a blank dictionary? You're both at a loss for words.
He knows how to take these villains down on these interviews. Oh, that reminds me, I need to go back for the bio. Real name, Eddie Nashton, aka Edward Enigma. Occupation, professional criminal, based in Gotham City. Eye color blue, hair color brown. Height 6 feet 1 inch. Weight 183 pounds. First appearance to comics number 140. October 1948. With an obsessive compulsive need for attention, Edward Enigma is determined to be the cleverest of Gotham City's criminals, plotting elaborate trails of clues and riddles around his crimes. Batman has proven a worthy opponent, capable of unraveling the Riddler's most interactive plans, but Enigma is dedicated to creating a mystery that will stump the Dark Knight, even if he has to kill someone to do it. Humiliated by Batman on Arkham Island, Enigma is more determined than ever to bring the Caped Crusader to his knees. Genius intellect, driven, positive need for attention. Wow. Solomon Grundy. Real name Cyrus Gold. Occupation N/A. Based in Slaughter Swamp. Eye color grey, hair color grey, height varies, weight varies, and first appearance is All American Comics number 61, October 1944. Over a century ago, murderer Cyrus Gold sought to escape justice by hiding in Slaughter Swamp, where he met a fate worse than death. Mysterious forces doomed the now immortal Grundy to an endless cycle of death and rebirth. Robbed for the memories he adopted the name of nursery rhyme Solomon Grundy. Born on a Monday, christened on Tuesday, married on a Wednesday, took ill on Thursday, grew worse on Friday, died on a Saturday, buried on a Sunday. This is the end of Solomon Grundy. Each reincarnation makes him stronger. Incredible strength and resilience, can never be truly killed. And now on to my favourite Batman character of all, the lovely, seductive Catwoman. Begin interview tapes.
We found a prisoner attempting to break into your office, sir.
I see. Leave us.
Yes, sir.
Well, as I live and breathe, Professor Hugo Strange. Your posters really don't do you justice. You really are far more evil-looking in real life.
Charmed. Tell me, what do you plan to do, Miss Kyle? I assume that you were attempting to break into my office in order to retrieve your ill-gotten gains.
You stole them from me.
Hardly.
The items were confiscated upon your arrest.
Yeah, about that. This holiday camp of yours is quaint and all, Hugo, but I don't think I'll be staying too long.
Escape is impossible.
A girl loves a challenge.
So do I. Tell me, what would you do if I let you go? Attempt to escape? Try and find the confiscated items? Contact the Batman?
Why would I contact him? It's his fault I'm in here.
Is it? I believe you would have escaped if greed had not got the better of you. He was actually in the process of rescuing you, was he not?
I didn't need his help.
Or any man's, it appears.
Come on. You're going somewhere with this. Spit it out.
I've been studying you.
I can see. My eyes are up here, by the way.
Very amusing. Tell me, what was it like growing up alone? Fending for yourself? Doing whatever was necessary to stay alive?
Please, I'm tearing up here.
And Holly, what would you do if I sent my men after her?
Touch her, and you're dead.
For those of you who don't know, Holly is a minor character who became Catwoman in the comics when Selina was retired for a time, I think.
Have you calmed down yet?
Where is she?
That depends on your next answer. If you could save one person tonight, who would it be? Holly? Or the Batman?
He can look after himself.
Good. Holly is safe for now. Let us talk about Batman.
What do you think I can tell you that you don't already know? You've been sending your goons after him for months. He said you were studying him.
So you speak. Good. You never knew your father, correct?
Enough, Strange. This is over.
If you say so. Captain, do you have the girl in your sights?
Yes, sir.
Kill her.
No!
Are you prepared to talk? I thought so. Keep the girl targeted, Captain.
You bastard.
Shall we continue? Your father. Did you ever meet him?
Never knew the son of a bitch.
Unfortunate. He certainly seems to have made an impact on you. The distrust of men, for example. Your relationship with Batman, would you call it close?
Me and the Brooding One get along just fine.
But you want more. But you can't trust men, can you?
What? Look, he's spoken for. He must be. How else could he resist all this?
You're both very similar, aren't you? A shared disregard for the law, a belief that you are doing the right thing, and a similar taste in attire. But beneath the surface, there is a weakness.
Like hell.
You both risk everything for a chance at redemption. You tell yourself it's to help her. He does the same for the boy. It's all just to make his life more complete, to become the father he never knew.
You don't know anything about him.
And neither do you. He hasn't confided in you because he doesn't trust you. And it hurts, doesn't it? I touched a raw nerve, didn't I?
Are you still here?
You're hurt because he knows who you are, but you don't know anything about him. Do you love him?
No!
Holly is safe. I have little interest in the life of a teenage delinquent, unless, of course, she finds herself in my facility.
What was all this about, Strange? Do you enjoy making people beg?
Not at all. I am only interested in what makes people do what they do. Soon you will not have to worry about the Batman. Steal what you like, do what you must, in a futile attempt to steal his heart. You will fail.
You sound pretty sure of yourself.
Plans are afoot, Miss Kyle. Soon you may wish to reevaluate your admiration for him. I
be the one standing over his body. And the world will know that Hugo Strange is better than him.
Yeah, whatever.
Two-Face has placed what you are looking for in his safe in his own campaign office. He is someone else who cannot let go of his past. I hope that the contents of that safe make you happy.
Soon, Kevin. Soon, Kermit. Someone else was asking me to play Uncharted, and I will get to that. And I told you when this video is done, because I had to do this for my fans. Let's go with this. Real name: Selena Kyle, occupation: professional thief. Based in Gotham City. Eye color green, hair color black, height 5 feet 7 inches, weight 125 pounds. First appearance Batman #1, spring 1940. An orphan who learned to survive on the mean streets of Gotham, Selena Kyle turned to thievery to survive. Determined to do it with style, she learned martial arts and trained in gymnastics to perfect her skills. Her criminal activities are tempered by reluctant altruism, making her an inconstant villain and occasional hero. She maintains a complicated adversarial relationship with Batman and frequently turns flirtatious and occasionally romantic. That's fine, mate. Since the opening of Arkham City, reports of Catwoman burglaries are down, though underworld rumors have her hunting down Two-Face for an unknown reason. Trained gymnast and athlete, expert hand-to-hand combatant, high skill with whips, unrivaled stealth capabilities, obsessed with stealing famous and well-protected items. Only 2 more characters with interview tapes. Nora Freeze, not much about this one. Real name: Nora Freeze, occupation N/A, based in N/A, eye color blue, hair color blonde, height. Well, I guess that changes in the game because it's like a brown in Arkham Knight. Height 5 feet 6 inches, weight 145 pounds. First appearance Batman Mr. Freeze, 1997, which is my birth year. Beautiful Nora Freeze found undying love when she married the shy but brilliant cryogeneticist Victor Freeze. After she was struck with a rare disease, Victor used his lab to freeze Nora in a state of suspended animation until he could find a cure. Since then, Nora has been trapped between life and death. Victor became Mr. Freeze, willing to break every law in his desperate search for a means to cure Nora. Gifted dancer, okay. And now on to the army of Zaz. Go.
Did I ever tell you about my first kill, Batman? No? As I am sure you are aware, my parents were dead and I was rich. So rich I could have anything I wanted, but of course, all I wanted was them back. I now know that that was impossible, of course, that their death served a higher purpose. But back then, I had yet to experience the joy of cold steel cutting through warm flesh. I had no idea how I could save these people from the relentless misery of their existence.
You should have stayed that way.
Really? Then I'll stop now. Find another telephone, Batman. Goodbye. You made it. I think I will continue my story. I feel the need to talk, to confess maybe. I was rich and alone, but not for long, of course. I took to gambling, or maybe it took to me. If only I had been good at it. I may not be where I am today. As my life spiraled out of control, I desperately formed a plan. A plan to win back my parents' money and be happy again. It didn't work, of course. Plans like that never do. But as I stood outside the Iceberg Lounge on that hot summer night, I remember feeling something. Hope, maybe. The Iceberg Lounge was crawling with disgusting disgusting flesh of humanity. You could find anything there. If you had the money, of course. At the beginning, I seemed to be winning. The cards all went my way, and I found myself at the owner's table. For some reason, I thought I would win, that he would play fair. I looked around the table. I saw the people I was against. Card sharks, thugs, princes, and the disgusting midget who ran the place. One by one, they all lost or folded. The chips were piling up, and it was just him and me. They called him the Penguin, even back then. He had both eyes, of course. That little accident hadn't happened yet. And both of them were looking at me when I put down my cards. 6 of clubs. 6 of diamonds. He looked scared. He leaned forward, and I could smell the cigar stench on his breath. The 6 of spades, and finally, the 6 of hearts. I felt good. And then he started laughing. He belched out smoke, and he put his cards down on the table. Card by card, my heart sank. A 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, a damn 7! Straight flush ended me there. I was lost and thrown out into the city to die. Penniless. Can you imagine what it was like, Batman? I was numb. I'd lost everything, and I was alone, crying like a baby staggering through the streets of this city, until I found the answer that I had been looking for. I stood there on the Sprang Bridge, looking out at the sea. I felt the warm breeze on my skin, and it felt right. I looked down and imagined myself falling into the blissful arms of my mother. And then he appeared. He held out the knife and demanded my money. My money! Can you believe it? I looked into his cold, desperate eyes, and I saw something familiar. Something inevitable. I saw oblivion. I saw that we are all the same, stuck on a miserable loop that demands salvation. So I gave it to him. Can you imagine the vagrant's surprise when I grabbed his knife from his hands? It was instinctive. It was beautiful. In one movement, I sliced out his throat and gave him the gift of salvation. It happened so fast, but I felt every joyous sensation. The blood sprayed over my face, and I saw what little life was left in his eyes leave. But then it was over. I felt lost. Like it had been meaningless. That no one would acknowledge my sacrifice. And then it happened. Without realizing what I was doing, I plunged the knife into my forearm and cut deep. It was incredible. I felt my body elevate to a higher place. It had become a temple to my work.
Now if you haven't noticed, before, Victor Saz is the guy who shoved the bottle in Penguin's face because of the whole card incident. And there's another example like that, because you never find out who that guy is until it's Saz. There's another incident where, when we read the Two-Face tapes, it says, oh, Catwoman has, no, we start, the tapes are reversed. No. Catwoman comes in first, and she says about her stuff with the tapes, and she says, oh, there's a safe with your stuff in it, go get it. And then Hugo Strange, being a bastard, says, oh, guess what, Catwoman's in your safe right now, go get if you catch a coin. So yeah, he does switch people's heads on the fly. Real name Victor Zsasz. Occupation professional criminal. Based in Gotham City. Eye color blue. Hair color non. Formerly blonde. Weight 5 feet 8 inches. Weight 150 pounds. First appearance Batman Shadow of the Bat. Number 1. June 1992. A true sociopath, Zsasz grew up in a life of ease, but nonetheless became a serial killer, indiscriminate in his prey. Body count is the only thing that matters to Zsasz. He carves a mark for each of his victims into his body, and is saving a special spot for the Batman. Since being thrown into Arkham City, his whereabouts are unknown, though reports of his rising body counts fit his numerous operanda. Sociopath with no regard for human life, no patterns of killing and making him difficult to track, compulsive need to kill others. And he was first in the museum, and then he broke out, and then he's found his own little place with the phones. And now what we've got is Deadshot. Real name Floyd Lawton. Occupation mercenary. Based in Gotham City. Eye color blue. Hair color brown. Height 6 feet 1 inch. Weight 193 pounds. First appearance Batman number 59. July 1950. I'm assuming because of the weight, because of his gun gadgets. Floyd Lawton is the deadliest gun for hire in the world. He never misses a shot, especially with his pair of silenced wrist-mounted 9mm cannons. Deadshot disdains himself almost as much as his corrupt targets. Several prison psychologists have been diagnosed him with suicidal tendencies. Batman is the only person who has made Deadshot miss, a distinction that puts the Dark Knight at the top of Deadshot's hit list. Master Marksman, expert of all firearms and projectiles. Azrael. Real name Michael Lane. Occupation police officer. Based in Gotham City. Eye color brown. Hair color black. Height 6 feet 2 inches. Weight 210 pounds. Assuming because of the suit. First appearance Azrael. Death's Dark Knight. Number 1. March 2009. Years ago, Michael Lane was part of a program to create an ultimate crime fighter. Instead, it turned him into an insane criminal. Thwarted by Batman, Michael confessed his sins to Price, the secret religious sect, the Order of Purity. They recruited Michael to fight for evil as Persuader Azrael, wearing a mystical suit of sorrows and wielding the sword of sin. If Michael does not keep his soul pure, the suit of sorrows will destroy him. The suit of sorrows bestows enhanced strength and stamina and speed. The sword of sin burns with the souls of the damned, prone to fits insanity, military and police trained technician. And now for the last character of interview tapes, Mad Hatter.
Patient interview 1. Subject's name, Jervis Tetch, a.k.a. the Mad Hatter. Brought to Arkham Asylum by the Batman 6 months ago. Patient exhibits signs of obsessive compulsion and paranoid schizophrenia. Sit down, Mr. Tetch.
But it's not time to sit. I need Alice. Where is my Alice?
Please.
No time to sit, not time to chat. I'm searching for Alice and I've lost my head.
Guard, restrain Mr. Tetch.
Get off me, I'm late. I'm running out of time, Alice. Where are you?
Alice isn't here yet. Just relax, Jervis. She will be here soon. I promise.
But when?
Now, would you like some tea?
Now I believe he's one of the first criminals to go to him, and you'll see why I think that.
Is Alice here yet?
No, I'm afraid not. Let us talk while we wait. You and I have much in common, Jervis.
Really? Do you know Alice too?
Unfortunately not. You and I both share an interest in the mind, do we not? I studied your papers, Jervis. You are quite brilliant. Truly an extraordinary mind.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It's all just chemicals and synapses and rabbits and...
focus. Think about your work for a minute. You theorize that there is no such thing as free will, that you can change a man's allegiances, his motives, emotions, all of what we believe makes a man with chemicals. Your formula was really quite brilliant. That's why I used it.
Well, how did you get it? Did Alice give it to you? Wicked girl. Nasty little thing. Is she here yet?
Soon, Jervis, soon.
Oh, you told me that Alice would be here.
She is, Jervis. She's right here.
Alice? Alice, come out. Don't pout. Don't make me shout. Alice, come out. Where are you?
Take a look at the pictures, Jervis.
Who are these people?
Look again.
Oh, I don't know who they are. Oh, please, is Alice here or not?
Look at the first picture. Look at the dress she is wearing. Look at the hair. It's Alice, isn't it?
No, it can't be Alice. Alice has nice yellow hair and isn't covered in blood.
I think you know exactly who this is, Mr. Tetch. I think you remember the night you lured Stephanie Williams back to your research lab. How you offered her tea. What happened then?
No.
You killed her, didn't you?
No.
She was the first. It's okay, Jervis. It's all right to remember. How many Alices were there?
I can't remember. Well, Alice isn't coming, is she?
That all depends on how you cooperate. I have a little side project that I'm working on. I could use your help.
My help? I can't help. I'll be late.
Stay focused, Jervis. This facility is old, tired, full of ghosts.
Ghosts?
A figure of speech. Do not worry. Arkham Asylum will not exist forever. Its techniques are old, its mission outdated. I intend to create a new Arkham, an Arkham that will rise phoenix-like from the ashes of this one.
Is there a fire? We should get out of here.
I have arranged for some documents to be left in your cell. They outline a technique I propose to control the mind of, shall we just say, weaker souls.
I cannot do it without rabbits. I need rabbits for my research, and tea,
And Alice, I know. I have arranged for a number of test subjects to be at your disposal. They have been here at Arkham for so many years that no one will miss them. Shall we meet again next week? Oh, and I took the liberty of having your hats returned. I assume that will provide all the encouragement you require. Well done, well done. I must say you have outperformed even my wildest expectations.
Yes. Did you see the people at my tea party? They all behaved themselves.
Yes, they did, Jervis. I'm very pleased. I have just one last request to make of you. You must keep it a secret. Can you keep a secret, Jervis?
With enough hats, I can stop people remembering secrets. Does that count?
It will have to. I need you to pay a visit to Warden Sharp. He needs to come around to my way of thinking.
To join our tea party?
Exactly.
I don't want to.
Of course you do. How else will you get to play with Alice?
What?
I have a new assistant for you, Jervis. I had her brought in specially. Look at her. She's just through there.
Oh, it's Alice. She's here. No, what are you doing? I need to see her.
And you can, as soon as you do what I asked.
Can I keep her?
Of course. She'll be all yours. She's Alice.
And that's how the mayor was hypnotized. So this is like an Arkham Asylum before it was closed down. Wow, even earlier than I thought. Alright, real name, Jebris Tetch, occupation, personal criminal, based in Gotham City, eye color blue, hair color red, height 4 feet 11 inches, weight 115 pounds, first appearance, Batman number 49, November 1948. Obsessed from a young age with Lewis Carroll's book Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, Jebris Tetch is an expert hypnotist, embraced the delusion that was the incarnation of a character in the story The Mad Hatter. Using the skills to mesmerize, the Mad Hatter has committed many crimes, often themed around the book that inspired him and his love of hats and headgear, going so far as to implant his hats and mind control chips to amplify the hypnotist skills. Above all others, headwear, however, he covets Batman's distinctive cowl and will stop of nothing to acquire it. Master of hypnotism and mind control, obsessed with hats, especially one-of-kind items, delusional schizophrenic with a fixation on Alice in Wonderland. Right, we are now on Hush. Real name Thomas Tommy Elliott. Occupation surgeon, serial killer, based in Gotham City, eye color blue, formerly brown, hair color reddish brown, height 6 feet 3 inches, weight 225 pounds. I'm assuming because of that bigger suit he's wearing. First appearance, Batman number 609, January 2003. Tommy Elliott and Bruce Wayne were childhood friends, and unknown to Bruce, dark reflections of each other. A childhood sociopath, Elliott tried to kill his parents so he could control their fortune. When his plan failed due to the surgical skills of Thomas Wayne, Bruce's father, Elliott blamed the Wayne family for his problems. An incredible gifted surgeon, as an adult, Elliott had spent decades planning on elaborate revenge schemes to destroy Bruce Wayne. Great physical strength, augmented by the drives of revenge, well-class surgeon, master of disguise, determined to destroy Bruce Wayne. And now for Black Mask. Real name, Roman Zionis. Occupation, professional criminal, based in Gotham City. Eye color brown, hair color brown. Height 6 feet 1 inch. Weight 195 pounds. First appearance, Batman number 386, August 1985. Following the suspicious death of his wealthy parents in a fire, Roman Zionis inherited their fortune and went on to bankrupt their companies. Saved with a buyout by Bruce Wayne, Zionis came to resent and hate his rescuer. Fixated on the concepts of masks, Zionis carved one from his father's black coffin and sought revenge on Wayne. The ensuing battle with the Dark Knight caused his mask to be burnt into his skin, making him as the Black Mask. Zionis is now a feared gang leader and one of the most powerful mob bosses in Gotham, with a burning hatred of the Batman. Obsessed with masks, harbors a hatred of Batman and Bruce Wayne, face resembles a black skull, feared and powerful mob boss, skilled marksman known for his double handguns. Jack Ryder. Real name Jack Ryder, occupation investigative reporter, based in Gotham City, eye color blue, hair color black, height 6 feet, weight 194 pounds. First appearance, showcase number 73, March in 1968. Jack Ryder is an investigative reporter and returned to controversial talk show host, well known for his aggressive manner and his relentless determination to get to the truth. With the opening of controversial Arkham City at hand, Ryder hopes to discover the roots of his dangerous stronghold and expose them for the good of Gotham. Determined reporter, known for his aggressive pursuits of stories, famous for his controversial talk show. Not much about him. Poison Ivy. Pamela Lillian Isley, has a real name, occupation, professional criminal, based in Gotham City, eye color green, hair color red, height 5 feet 8 inch, weight 115 pounds. First appearance, Batman number 181, June 1966. Botanist Pamela Isley was transformed by a scientist experiment gone wrong into a plant-human hybrid with chlorophyll flowing through her veins instead of blood. She developed a toxic touch and pheromone-fluid talent for seduction. Her unique brand of eco-terrorism often puts her into a conflict with Batman, whose iron will usually protects him from her seductive powers. Since her encounter with the Dark Knight on Arkham Island, Ivy has been transferred to Arkham City, taking a refuge in a vine-covered stronghold. Ivy would rather keep humanity away with the participate in the gang wars of Arkham City. Able to direct the growth of all plant life, plant genes mixed with her DNA, use natural pheromones and controls victims, skin secretes a deadly toxin, pathological driven to respect nature from humanity. Killer Croc. Real name Waylon Jones, occupation alligator rustler, gangster and murderer, based in, well, he's mobile, eye colour yellow, hair colour none, height 9 feet, weight 310 pounds, first appearance Batman number 357, January 1984. Born with a rare mutation that made his skin green and scaly and grew his body to a grotesque proportions, Waylon Jones was raised by an alcoholic aunt and bullied relentlessly for his appearance. He briefly worked at a carnival freak under the name Killer Croc, but his minstrelsy grew with his animal nature, pushing him to the life of crime. As his physical condition and mental state deteriorate, Killer Croc Killer Croc becomes a more bestial foe, increasingly detached from humanity. His whereabouts are unknown since the escape of Arkham Asylum, when I found him in the sewers. Big surprise. Incredibly thick, tough skin and rare, sharp teeth and claws. Strength and stamina are near superhuman level. Heightened senses and extremely fast reflexes. Can survive in water and extended periods of time, and intense hatred of humanity. Bane. Real name unknown, professional criminal as occupation, based in Gotham City, eye colour brown, when on Venom it's green, hair colour is brown, height is 5 feet 6 inches, and when on Venom it's 9 feet 2 inches, weight 144 pounds, when on Venom it's 350 pounds. First appearance Batman Vengeance of Bane number 1, January 1993. Imprisoned from birth to serve his dead father's sentence, Bane was raised inside the horrific environs of Santa Prisca prison, subjected to military experiments with his experimental ultra-sized steroid venom. His superhuman ultra steroid venom, his superhuman strength and iron forged will help him to escape. Determined to build a criminal empire, he sought out Batman and broke the Dark Knight's spine, but Batman recovered and managed to beat Bane, or best him, cutting off Bane's precious venom supply. Since the events of Arkham Asylum, it's rumored that Bane has turned over a new leaf in an effort to save others from a similar addiction. Master strategist, intense focus, a really strong reaction to the super steroid venom, and determined to best all who challenge him. Last but not least, Calendar Man. Real name Julian Day, occupation professional criminal, based in Gotham City, eye colour blue, hair colour non-formally brown, height 5 feet 9 inches, weight 215 pounds. First appearance at comics number 259, September 1958. Fixated on the calendar, Julian Day became Calendar Man, a villain who tied his crimes thematically to certain holidays throughout the year, often leaving clues by which he could be caught. Gotham City's hopes for a day off often clouded by the knowledge that any holiday or note is likely to be shattered by Calendar Man's presence. Obsessed with quirks of the calendar, and now we are on to stories. This is going to take a while, ain't it? Oh. Okay. Aaron Cash recalled that night back at Arkham Asylum. When watching from a security monitor, he saw Quincy Sharp scroll an elaborate message on the floor of the cell block control room, using a rusty nail and blood from his fingertips before forcing his way out of the cell, only to disappear into the chaos. He didn't know where Sharp had gone, but he was sure that there was something seriously wrong with their future mayor of Gotham City. With no other career options available, and nagging feeling that he had seen Hugo Strange before, he reluctantly accepted the job of running a small medical team charged with providing assistance to any residents of Arkham City who needed it. The Abramovich twins. Andrei Abramovich was a respected man in a small Iberian village where he lived with his pregnant wife. When word reached Andrea, that's just a girl's name, Andrei, or whatever, call him Andrei, that his wife was in labour, he rushed home excited to be at his side, but was met only by the midwife. His wife had not survived the birth. Complications due to special nature of his new reborn sons were to blame. Pushing into a broom, he joined at the shoulder, screaming for their mother. He took the twins and left town, crying. He stood at Cold River and contemplated throwing them to their deaths. But he could not do it. Leaving his sons outside the tent on a travelling freak show, Andrei returned home from the village a broken man. The Abramovich Twins Part 2. The Joker had tales of the conjoined Abramovich twins, now widely known as Hammer and Sickle, and their reputation for brutality, and he wanted them for himself, sending Harley on a desperate mission to retrieve them. She passed on the message to the circus owner and her own pudding, that her pudding would pay big for the twins. Of course, the owner refused to sell his headlining act. He promptly vanished, only to be found 3 months later with a smile carved in his face. However, he only does get Hammer. I'm guessing somehow Penguin got him. Penguin somehow got Sickle. Moving along to Arkham Island sold. Once the decision to create Arkham City had been approved, Mayor Sharp ordered the Arkham Island to be put up for sale. In a press conference, he claimed, "This is a fantastic revenue opportunity for Gotham City." Although a number of prominent Gotham companions entered bids for the land, the winning bid came from a previously unknown security company named Tiger. Within weeks of the sale, Tiger was also awarded the contract to police Arkham City and instantly began using the island to launch the fleet of helicopter gunships to patrol a new prison facility. Arkham City Medical Team. Cash chose the abandoned church building near the Solomon Wayne Courthouse to situate his medical team, knowing that Strange was only providing the minimal amount of medical assistance to placate those campaigning against Arkham City. Cash was forced to beg for equipment and additional medical supplies. The first donations came from Bruce Wayne himself, who supplied a series of security shutters to keep the people with the building safe, along with cutting-edge body armor and supplies. On hearing of Wayne's donations, Strange was furious and locked down all the supply routes between the medical team and the outside world. So it explains how the shutters got there. Hugo Strange's storage vault. On the perimeter wall of Arkham City is the Tiger confiscated goods vault. This high-security facility houses all the items confiscated from the criminals upon their minutes to the prison. A special vault that is used to protect equipment and ill-gotten gains at the various supercriminals, and it's guarded by 24/7 by a squad of Tiger guards. Upon her arrest, Hugo Strange placed all of Catwoman's belongings there, and she has vowed to get them back and leave Arkham City for good, which you see in her episodes. Seismic Disturbances. Just weeks before Arkham City was due to open business, the streets and roads in the northeast of the facility were devastated by a series of unexplained seismic incidences. The large-scale suspensions left the street level in an entire district submerged underwater. Campaigns upset opposed to Hugo Strange's super prison, demanded further investigation into the cause of the disturbances, arguing that this was further proof that the area was unfit under basic humanitarian grounds. However, Strange vetoed plans for a inquiry of his land. He provided his own experts to demonstrate that the seismic activity was a one-off event, and maintained that the inmates had been given up their rights to any distant standard of living. So it's like, who cares if this pig with the water is upstairs? They don't really care about living at all. That's what he's saying, basically. Compulsory purchase. Upon becoming mayor, Quincy Sharp presented Gotham City with his plan to create a super prison in the north of the city, claiming that the site was selected because it contained extreme areas of social decay and neglect. When Bruce Wayne spoke out of the consultation committee hearing, the mayor pointed out that his location was where Wayne's parents had been murdered and decades before. The council passed the motion to create Arkham City, as set out issuing eminent domain seizures, allowing it to purchase all the land within the site's walls. Studying the Bat. Now, this is in the trailer, if you've seen the trailer of Arkham City. Hugo Strange's obsession with Bruce Wayne and Batman were unbearable. He needed to know every small detail of how the man functioned to understand exactly what made him tick, so that he could finally destroy him. Strange manipulated the mayor into allowing squads of Tiger officers to be deployed into Gotham City under pretense of aiding the police. However, unknown to the people of Gotham, the Tiger Guards had only one target, the Batman. Strange knew his men would intentionally fail, but he studied every defeat mercilessly, and as analysing the techniques and strategies for his opponent. It would be only necessary data to defeat the Bat. Which, of course, as we know, he wins the game, so of course he doesn't. Open for business. Mayor Quincy Sharp looked proud as he addressed Gotham on the night that Arkham City officially opened for business. As he introduced Hugo Strange to the mass of journalists, he felt sure that the hard work and sacrifices had been worth it. He could hardly believe that he had achieved so much in 18 months since the events of Arkham Island. As the campaign ball smashed against the wall, Strange whispered to him that he could soon have Catwoman and Two-Face arrested and brought to his prison. Quincy smiled. With Arkham City's construction complete, he was guaranteed the approval of the city, and with all the supervillains in his custody, their next target would be Batman, the person he blamed for everything. So, Quincy's blaming Batman for the incident? Wow, what a dick. That's what I'm assuming what they're talking about, because I don't think Hugo would say that. Bane. After being hit by the Batmobile and knocked down into the dark waters surrounding Arkham Island, Bane swam to the shore, but was quickly recaptured and taken back by the injuries and the experiments performed upon him by Dr. Young. He patiently waited, plotting his revenge. Forced into keeping a low profile as he recovered, Bane searched Arkham City for a suitable location to act as a hideout, and found just what he needed in the form of Crank Toys building. There, surrounded by toys, he waited, recuperating until the time was right to make his move. Titan on the streets. Having no love for his fellow prisoners in Arkham City, Bane set up presided over the underground fighting contest where inmates fought in the vain for the privileges of trying to take him down. Word of these fights spread throughout Arkham, and the Joker sent Bane a little surprise. As Bane moved in for the kill, Joker's henchman triggered a Titan injection that ripped through his body, transforming him into a monstrous Titan. Barely surviving a Titan, Bane had a new problem. Somehow Titan had found its way into Arkham City, and it was up to him to stop it from falling into the wrong hands, so he gave it for himself. Which is not written there, but if they written there, it would give away, you know. But anyone can figure that out. Black Mask. Roman Zionis, aka Black Mask, is the first and only inmate to have escaped from Arkham City. Using explosives stolen from the Penguin, he waited until the tiger ship changed, blasted his way through the concrete wall, and went on the run in Gotham City. Furious, Hugo Strange ordered the tiger operatives into the streets to focus all their attention to find Black Mask, who was finally recaptured after a violent siege in the meatpacking plant he owned. Promising that no one else would ever escape again, Strange fitted a series of automatic machine guns to the walls of Arkham City, designed to kill anyone else who dared to try. And that's how you see all those Riddler walls and the guns and stuff. Close Arkham City. As Hugo Strange was revealed as the public face of Arkham City, Batman attempted to uncover any information he could about the history of this mysterious figure. Which is funny because in Arkham Asylum, the bio says that Batman knows him pretty well, but in this game he sort of doesn't. Okay, convinced that nothing in Arkham City was what it seemed to be, Batman dug deeper and deeper, but came up blank. It was as if all the evidence of Strange had been wiped clean. One thing was certain, however: Strange could not have done this alone. Batman was determined to ensure that the sight of his parents' death would not become a monument to Gotham's failure, and dedicated himself to shutting down Arkham City. Okay, we are now on Calendar Man. Julian Day, aka Calendar Man, had been locked in his cell in Arkham Asylum for a full year when he was moved to Arkham City. Unable to celebrate his passing holidays in his own inimitable style, he could do nothing more than just imagine what he would have done if he were free. In Arkham City, he quickly found the Solomon Wayne courthouse and claimed it as his own. Anyone who dared come in was overpowered and taken to a cell where they remained until the next holiday, when Day would kill them. It was all going well until Two-Face arrived with a small army and took the courthouse for himself, locking Day up in a cell. And that's how it all sets up. Clayface. Basil Karlo, aka Clayface, has used his ability to mimic the exact appearance of anyone in the impersonate Quincy Sharp and escape from Arkham Asylum. On the run in Gotham City, Clayface has been forced to constantly change his appearance in order to stay one step ahead of Hugo Strange and his guards. His current whereabouts are unknown, but we figure out where he is if you play the game. The Falcone Family. The Falcones are America's oldest surviving crime family. Generation after generation have ruled the underworld with iron fists, preferring to stay away from more colourful supervillains' activities. They maintain legitimate business interests, including a garbage collection and shipping companies. The current head of the family, Carmine the Roman Falcone, is feared by all and until recently had the city in his pocket. But something has changed. Quincy Sharp, the newly elected mayor, and a man who should be afraid of him, was not Carmine's attempts to intimidate Sharp mysteriously disappearing, and Sharp had struck back with the Tiger Guards closing down Falcone's operations all over the city. A family business. As Hugo Strange's Tiger Guards' grip on the cities tightened, a Falcone family meeting was called. The choice was simple: stay in Gotham and face arrest and imprisonment in Arkham City, or leave. The younger members of the family argued that the Falcones run from no one, but in the end it was the Romans' decision. The next day, the entire family packed up and left Gotham City, heading to the relative safety of Bloodhaven. So that's what happened to the family of that. Now we go on to the three-parter, A Sick Plan. After Batman stopped him from escaping Arkham Asylum, the Joker sat alone in his padded cell, knowing something was wrong. His first sign was an unusual lump on his forehead. He felt tainted. Weeks went by, and 10 more unusual lumps appeared. The Titan had done something to him. Something bad. Something that wasn't funny at all. The Joker was dying. He knew it, and soon so would anyone who saw him. But the last thing he needed was to appear weak before his rivals. So one day at lunch, the Joker took a spoon and dug out another of the inmate's eye, knowing this would get him solitary confinement. He could keep out of sight at least until his transfer to Arkham City. The Joker needed an escape plan, and on the night of the transfer, Harleen Quinzel provided one. Disguised as an Arkham guard, she overpowered the Joker's escorts and stole her pudding away to a boat waiting on the island's quayside. A Sick Plan Part 3. As the boat carrying the twisted pair sped off towards Gotham, it was joined by a second. A secret alarm placed by Batman had alerted him to Joker's escape, and here he was in the Batboat pursuing the fugitives. They ignored his orders to stop, so Batman opened fire as Harley steered the boat to the shore. Missiles ripped the hull to pieces. They swam the weakened Joker, being pulled through the water by a distraught Harley. Desperate to save her pudding, she pulled the Joker out of the water to safety. Somehow avoiding Batman's searchlight, she and the Joker sat there, gasping for breath, when they suddenly realized where they were: Arkham City. Strange goings on. Working at Arkham Asylum, Professor Hugo Strange used a series of complicated psychological profiling techniques to identify the man behind Batman's mask as Bruce Wayne. Planning to become both rich and famous, he plotted to tell the secret of Batman's identity to the highest bidder. Word spread throughout the criminal underworld that Batman's greatest secret was for sale, but before anyone could act on it, Hugo Strange had vanished, and that's how he took over Wonder Tower. Probably. He removed. Hugo Strange's experiments. Now in charge of Arkham City, Strange continues his radioactive experiments into the workings of the human mind. During processing, Strange personally selects inmates that lift his criteria, and he has been taken away to his inmate behavioral analysis unit. No one knows what happens to the missing prisoners in that room except Strange himself. Sometimes they emerge lobotomized to roam the streets, but more often they are never heard from again. Some people believe that Strange brainwashes the missing thugs and turns them into tiger guards, whereas others believe he has a deal with the Penguin and hands them to him for target practice. Originally I thought it's more likely the first option, but now it's kind of 50-50 now, because I see how much he's okay working with the Penguin. Moving along, we are now on to Jordan vs. Sharp, two-parter. As the plans for Arkham City became public knowledge, Commissioner Gordon, sensed at not having been consulted over Mayor Sharp's decision, attempted to block construction with a court order. He failed. The Commissioner called on Batman and explained that he suspected corruption on the highest levels of Sharp's administration. After losing his case against Mayor Sharp, Gordon was summoned by City Hall. Sharp tried to reason with Gordon, explaining that Arkham City would be something they could be both proud of, but Gordon had held his ground. Sharp calmly stated that he understood Gordon's position and expected Gordon to quietly resign. Furious, Gordon stormed out. He might have resigned if he hadn't been talked out to it by Batman. Batman suggested attacking Mayor Sharp and Arkham City with a public campaign headed not by Gordon, but someone with the money and profile needed to be a popular support, someone like Bruce Wayne. Nice move, Batman. Holding grudges, part 1 of 3. Soon after his arrival in Gotham City, the Penguin decided to make an impression on the underworld elite with a gala opening for his nightclub, the Iceberg Lounge. He included the notorious Joker, whose appearance would surely impress the crowd. When the Joker arrived, Harley Quinn on his arm and a dainty flower in his lapel, the Penguin was thrilled. He was hoisting the sinister Sarai of the century until a clumsy waitress spilled a drink on the Joker. The laughing Joker aimed his flower, and acid spray melted the girl's face. As alarmed patrons fled the scene, a cold dark rage at the Joker curled inside Penguin, and thus the war began. The Joker eagerly returned to the Iceberg Lounge a few weeks later, but was insulted to find his name was not on the guest list. Willing to overlook this obvious mistake, he shot the doorman on his way in, kicked his feet up at the table, and ordered a glass of warm milk. He was pleased with, alongside the milk, was a summons to the club's VIP section. Led to a black room, past a tank where Tiny the Shark circled, the Joker happily greeted the Penguin, who promptly pushed him out of the door onto the street. The Penguin squawked out, and the club had a new no clowns policy before slamming the door. After arriving in Arkham City, the Joker and Harley Quinn were eager to explore their new stomping ground. Reflecting the years that had passed since the Penguin had banned Joker from the club, they sought out the blue neon lights of the Iceberg Lounge. Harley pounded on the door, certain that Cobblepot would let bygones be bygones. The Penguin answered, a hulking guard at his side, and immediately reminded them of his no clowns policy. He just managed to close the door behind the acid from the Joker's flower shot out at his fist. And moving on to a killer in the sewers. In order to remove Waylon Jones, aka Killer Croc, from the sewers below Arkham Asylum, Strange ordered a squad of Tiger Guards to lure him using body parts from deceased inmates. Although the strategy proved unsuccessful, the team was able to subdue Croc when he emerged from the sewers looking for food, once the supply of bodies had run out. The Mad Hatter Part 2. The Mad Hatter Part 2-parter. Disgusted at the crimes of Jebbush Tetch committed in the guise of the Mad Hatter, Quincy Sharp decreed that Tetch should never see the outside world again. For months, Tetch was locked in solitary confinement deep in the bowels of Arkham Asylum's maximum security wing, locked up in the dark about hats, his tea, and most importantly his Alice. Tetch's mind crumbled. Professor Hugo Strange became fascinated by Tetch's case, taking particular interest in Tetch's mind control experiments. Strange manipulated security procedures, allowing him full access to Tetch behind the warden's back. Yeah, makes sense. Well, that's just fitting. But he uses one of the criminals he hates most of all to mind control the mayor. Cool. Part 2. If Hugo Strange's plans were going to work, he needed a way to control Quincy Sharp. Having worked with Tetch for months, he had refined a perfected psychoactive compound that would make anyone ingested it more malleable and open to suggestion. The next day, Strange invited Sharp to join him for tea at his office in the administration building. And we all know what happens next. Mind control. The Maroni family. The Maroni family has long been at war with their arch rivals, the Falcones, in a constant game of one-upmanship. Each family has been hurt, sons and daughters have been killed, businesses have been burnt to the ground, and still it goes on. Determined to win the war once and for all, the Maronis met in their family restaurant and talked into the night. Little did they know that as they talked, they were surrounded by Carmine Falcone's men. who opened fire, killing almost everyone within their leadership gone. Killing everyone. Within their leadership gone, the surviving Maronis had all been incarcerated in Arkham City. So I guess it's like the Capulets and the Montagues, like in Romeo versus Juliet. This time one family wins. Now here we are, the last stuff to go. Maxie Zeus. Not every building in Arkham City was in despair before the mega prison was constructed. One operating building was in the Gotham City Olympus nightclub, originally owned by Maxie Zeus. Although Maxie disappeared in Arkham Asylum after one too many rounds of electroshock therapy, the club kept running in his absence, leading some to think Maxie Zeus hasn't gone far. A Cold Start, Part 1. When Hugo Strange arranged for Nora Freeze to be moved to Arkham City, her husband, Victor Freeze, aka Mr. Freeze, escaped from his refrigerated confirmation cell to find her. But Strange was waiting for him, and he calmly informed Victor that Nora had been transported for her own safety, and that if Victor wished to see her again, he should move quietly into his new home in Arkham City. To motivate Victor further, Strange promised him full access to the laboratory facilities in his old GCP building, now abandoned within the high-security walls of Arkham City, stocked with all the tools required to seek a cure for Nora. Mr. Freeze stood alone in a new laboratory. Everything Strange had promised was true, everything except his frozen wife Nora, who was nowhere to be seen. Furious Freeze upgraded his suit's weapon systems, arming himself to force Strange to give him back his wife. Waiting until dark, he marched out of the GCPD, only to be ambushed by the squad of Tiger Guards, operatives, and orders to take him to Professor Strange, which is where I'm assuming the interview tapes come into play. Illegal operations. While in a resistance at Arkham Asylum, Hugo Strange experimented on prisoners at the part of the process leading to him unlocking the workings of the mind in order to control it. In order to cover up his experiments, he arranged for those poor individuals to be lobotomized, locked in the cells, and forgotten. It was during these experiments that Strange perfected his ability to place post-phatic suggestions in the minds of his victims, a technique he used to guarantee absolute loyalty and his hand-picked Tiger Guards. After escaping from custody, the Joker released the lunatics and allowed them to roam free through Arkham Island in an attempt to stop Batman. The Cobblepot Feud. At the opening of the Cobblepot Towers, Henry Cobblepot, print management turned hotelier, looked at the latest hotel determined to outclass the also newly opened Grand Wayne Plaza, desperate to ruin, which is the building you see in North Night, desperate to ruin his rival, Judge Solomon Wayne. Henry laughed at the reports that the people of Gotham preferred the restrained splendor of the Wayne Hotel to his own locations. He swore that the Cobblepot hotels would be the premier destinations of the world. He was wrong, and it cost him both his fortune and his health. On his deathbed, Henry left his remains of his fortune to his son, Stanley Cobblepot. Stanley vowed to outdo the Wayne family and their empire, now headed by Alan Wayne. Stanley Cobblepot investigated a very public feud with the Wayne family. As the Wayne business empire extended to include hotels and other public buildings, Stanley was determined to outdo them, pouring more and more money into his looting hotel business, to the detriment of the newspaper business and his relationship with his son, Oswald. As Stanley's business to school in England, feeling abandoned and picked on by his peers for his homely appearance, Oswald skipped class after class, preferring the company of thieves and scoundrels he met on the streets. By the time his father's empire collapsed, Oswald had vanished. When the council decided to shut down the Pinckney Natural History Museum, they sold the historic structure to the highest bidder. Located into a disorienting part of the city, many investors passed up the opportunity, but Oswald Cobblepot for Oswald Cobblepot, this was exactly what he wanted. He purchased the building and established this as his base of operations, converting the attached the theme restaurant, the Iceberg Lounge, into a high-profile nightclub to the public. The Iceberg Lounge was a reputable establishment, but below the surface was a den of inquinity, a go-to place for the illicit and illegal wares. The Amusement Museum exhibit halls were repurposed at the Penguin storage facility, housing everything from the torture room, his weapon cache, a gladiator pit. Illegal fights to the death occurs nightly within the victors earned a job of the Penguin's crew. The Penguin operation was run on fear and pain. One night the guest at the Iceberg Lounge was caught cheating at poker. At poker, the Penguin tortured the man in a full view of everyone. A friend of the man grabbed a beer bottle, smashed it on a table, and attacked, driving the bottle hard into Penguin's face. As the Penguin screamed, the attacker and his friend were dragged away into the private torture room. Cobblepot was examined by the finest doctors in Gotham City, but the prognosis was always the same. Removing the bottle could be fatal. When the Penguin received the eminent domain seizure from City Hall, ordering him to vacate the Iceberg Lounge, she replied with a letter telling Mayor Sharp that no one tells Oswald Cobblepot what to do. He brought his property legally, and the city could find somewhere else to stick their prison. On the day that the perimeter wall was due to be completed, the GCPD were dispatched with the backup from Tiger Guards to forcibly reclaim the building. The Penguin ordered his men to fire at the police, killing the veteran officers. With the Penguin's criminal nature no longer in dispute, Mayor Sharp ordered this was all closed, trapping the Penguin and his gang in Arkham City. Poisonous intent. Ready to turn over a new leaf, Pamela Isley rejected the Poison Ivy persona and opened a small flower shop in the back streets of Gotham. Surrounded by plants, she was content for a while, but society continued to mistreat her babies, and eventually she snapped. A man came to buy flowers for his wife, obviously feeling guilty about having been unfaithful. Pamela smiled and handed over an elaborate bouquet. The plants came to life, rapidly growing onto his screaming face and piercing his skin with toxin thorns. Pamela laughed. Poison Ivy was back. After being given an overdose of Titan by the Joker, Poison Ivy left to die in the alternate cell by the Warden Sharp, who blamed her for the mass destruction on Falcone Island. As her health declined, she prayed for salvation. It came in the form of the priest, who was unknowingly covered in pollen from the trees near the church. As he performed his last rites, Ivy manipulated the pollen into an antidote that worked in harmony and with the unique natural toxins in her blood, and to the amazement of the priest, she began a full recovery. Furious, Warden Sharp locked her in a biological containment unit and arranged for her to be one of the first criminals sent to Arkham City, of course. Election time. Quincy Sharp claimed to have been instrumental in stopping the riot at Arkham Asylum, stirring a tide of public admiration throughout his mayoral campaign. Sharp repeatedly told voters that he would never allow their safety to be threatened by criminal scum. His victory was assured, but when he announced that he could create a new high-security prison that would forever separate the good people of Gotham City from the bad. Once elected, his first move was to put the relative unknown psychiatrist Professor Hugo Strange in charge of the whole facility. The Ratcatcher. Otis Flanagan, aka the Ratcatcher, looked out through the cellar window on the opening day of Arkham City. He had kept out the trouble so far, but he would need to plan to survive Arkham City. He would need to plan to survive. Arkham City claimed to be escape-proof, and the Penguin had the illegal goods market soon up. So Ratcatcher would sell small comforts, fine soap, breath mints, extra buttons. He sent the rats out to collect such items from the outside world. It worked. Business was brisk, and he felt safe. Until the Penguin came, looking for his rival vendor. Flanagan was dragged screaming through the streets of Arkham City, followed by the trail of rats, into the museum and never to be seen again. I'm assuming he's dead. A new Robin. Richard Dick Grayson was the youngest in the family of acrobats, known as the Flying Graysons. Their death-defying acts was all that kept the circus where they performed in business. As the people of Gotham clampered the tickets to the show, the mob came looking for their cut. After the circus owner refused them, mobsters killed Dick's parents during a backed performance attended by Bruce Wayne. Wanting to protect the devastated orphan, Bruce Wayne took Dick under his wing and became the legal guardian, eventually entrusting the boy with his guarded secret. Desperate to help his friend and mentor, Dick trained hard to become Robin, patrolling Gotham at Batman's side. Now an adult, Dick fights crime in his own way as the vigilante called Nightwing. I'm not sure why they call it a new Robin, because he's the first one. Unless you count those other comic book ones. Scarecrow. No one has seen Jonathan Crane, aka Scarecrow, since he was attacked by Killer Croc in the sewers below Arkham Asylum. Some say he escaped certain death by dragging what was left of himself onto a Titan container and floating out to sea, while others believe he was eaten by Croc. Undeterred, Batman has spent months searching for Crane, refusing to believe that he is dead. If Crane is out there plotting his revenge on Batman, then Batman knows Gotham will never be truly safe. That's why I wanted, if you ever saw my Arkham Asylum review, I said I wanted Scarecrow's ending because of this little story piece here. It fits everything together. But unfortunately I didn't get that ending, I got Crocs, I think. Buried on a Sunday. On a dark and stormy night in the 19th century, a merchant named Cyrus Gold was murdered and dumped into the swamps near the emerging Gotham City. As the body sunk into the pit, it was exposed to the unusual chemical in the swamp, which miraculously reanimated the merchant. He set out wandering the streets of old Gotham, unable to remember his name, and only able to requite the nursery rhyme Solomon Grundy. Seemingly able to cheat death, the undead man, now called Solomon Grundy, was captured and ruthlessly experimented on, determined to discover what had brought Grundy back to life. It became apparent that the creature was now immortal, due to the combination of the swamp chemicals and the storm that raged on the night of his death. As the army moved through the condemned Wonder City searching for stragglers, no one expected that what lay in Ra's al Ghul's private medical laboratory. For months, Solomon Grundy had been exposed to the Lazarus chemical, and then repeatedly electrocuted. He had died dozens of times, but each time when he brought back for more, while the soldiers debated what he even was, Grundy revived again and killed everyone nearby. Mentally broken by his ordeal, he waited at the lab for doctors to return and murder him again. Kinda makes sense, Lazarus Pit, how he's immortal and all that. Talia's guard. Even though she's a fearsome warrior in her own right, as Ra's al Ghul's daughter, Talia is always shadowed by a secretive order by highly trained female protectors known as her elite guard. Each individual guard is chosen generations in advance, trained from birth to be the best of the best, easily capable of holding her own against 100 men. Cool. Always good to have that, yeah. Broking deals. Sherman Fine, aka the Broker, has carved out lucrative businesses in Gotham City by being the go-to-go purchase property. Mainly hired in the criminal underclass, Sherman will find and arrange all the necessary paperwork to ensure that the deal will go untraced, while providing exactly what the client needs. In the past, he has been purchased rooms on behalf of the Great White Shark, Mr. Zsasz, and the Joker. When planning his revenge on Batman, the Riddler took advantage on the broker's services to secure the buildings that will later house his challenges. The original Scarface puppet was carved from the old gallows tree at Blackgate Prison and eventually fell into the hands of the meek Arnold Wesker, who disappointed his mafia family by showing more interest in ventriloquism than gunplay. Scarface became an unlikely mob boss in Wesker's hands until Wesker was locked up in Arkham Asylum. Without his precious puppet, forced to improvise, he scrounged up materials for a new Scarface, one left mute upon Wesker's departure for the asylum. When the Joker took over Arkham, he discovered Scarface in the lockup and took a liking to the puppet. Scarface quickly received a garnish repaint and a new voice, complete with a demented laugh and a twisted sense of humour. I guess he sort of gets the Joker's personality. Or maybe it's that you need to have it could be the puppet that's doing it, it could be Scarface. It's kind of really twisted. So it's like Wesker has the puppet. Is Wesker doing it, or is Scarface, or is the puppet magic? But then Joker's able to do it. So it could be the puppet, it's magic. But then again, it could be Joker playing a prank. I don't know. It's hard to figure out. When Batman shut down the Joker's riot of Arkham Asylum, it seemed that the relationship between the newly demented Scarface puppet and the Clown Prince had ended until one of the Joker's old henchmen, Muggsy Binks, showed up at the steel mill in Arkham City. He rescued Scarface from his old asylum, knowing it would buy him favour with Joker, and Muggsy was skillful enough to make a dozen more copies, freeing the Joker to mutilate any puppet and failed to amuse him. After all, another Scarface could quickly be built up for him to laugh with and abuse, then break into pieces. Joker's only regret is that the people aren't so easily toyed with and replaced, or are they? Catwoman, Two-Face, three-parter, cool. As Strange's grip tightened and the gates of Arkham City slammed shut on Gotham's criminals, only 3 were left at large: Two-Face, Catwoman, and Batman. Catwoman sat in her apartment and debating whether to flee when her phone rang. On the other end, the unmistakable voice of Two-Face. "Sorry, kitty cat, but one of us had to go down." Suddenly Tiger Guards were at her door. Fleeing, Catwoman fought her way through with guard after guard to the safety of her nearby roof. She could only watch as the guards ransacked her apartment until they found her safe. She readied her claws, but a shadowy figure appeared behind her and held a gloved hand over her mouth until she passed out. Catwoman came to in the Batmobile as it raced through the streets of Gotham. She angrily told Batman that he should not have gotten involved. Batman told her to give up on her loot and leave town before it was too late. Underrated, she asked how Batman knew so much about Arkham City. He explained that he had found a secret room, wink wink, from Sharp's office back at Arkham Asylum, filled with a detailed plans for the new prison complex. Catwoman thanked him and pressed the emergency eject button on her seat. The Batmobile screeched to a halt, but it was too late. Catwoman had disappeared, and Batman knew exactly where she was headed. Two-Face was already in the warden's office in Arkham Asylum, photographing the plans to the secret vault inside the Arkham City. As Catwoman burst into the room, Two-Face laughed as he tossed the originals into the fire. Furious, she knocked him to the ground, grabbed the camera, and ran. With seemingly no escape for either of them, and the Tiger Guards altered and closing in fast, Catwoman was suddenly pulled to safety by Batman, leaving Two-Face to be captured. As Catwoman ascended, she opened the camera to reveal her prize, only to find that the memory card had vanished. She looked down on Two-Face, who was now showing her the card, before calmly swallowing it furious. Catwoman sliced through the line and plummeted to the ground, only to be surrounded by Tiger Guards, arrested and taken into Arkham City. I like that story about how those two got into Arkham City because of the whole film thing. Tigers in the City. After disagreeing with Commissioner Gordon over the policing of Arkham City, Quincy Sharp announced that a private firm had been commissioned to provide a total security solution, Tiger. Unknown to everyone but Hugo Strange, each Tiger operative was provided and implanted with a Sophiatic suggestion that made post-phyonic suggestion that made them unquestionably loyal to him and him alone. When Vicki Vale first interviewed Quincy Sharp just after the events of Arkham Asylum, she felt something was wrong. Sharp's lately appearance on the Gotham Nightliner show that she co-hosts confirmed the suspicions. Convinced that Sharp was not the hero he made himself out to be, Vale pressed him for answers, and he became confused, struggling with the facts. As she moved in for the journalist's kill, she was shocked when Sharp suddenly regained his composure, answering all her questions and authority. It was as if he suddenly spoke within someone else's voice. Whatever was going on, Vale became even more determined to uncover the truth. Now, I originally thought it was the spirit of Animus Arkham, but it's revealed to be mind control of Tetch and Hugo. This is 3 parts, and then there's the... Oh, wrong button. Sorry about that, guys. Where was it? Where was I? There it was. Here we go. Over a century ago, the mysterious Rachel Eichel arrived in Arkham in Gotham City and met with the Gotham elders. Even then, Gotham was a crime-ridden, lawless place. Rach promised a brighter future for all in exchange for a deed to be in the north of the city. And the governments laughed at the strange man until he proceeded more gold than he had ever seen. The deed in hand, Rach began construction of a new city, a utopian vision powered by clean, free energy. With no crime, the future would be bright, and as the last brick was laid by the slaves he had shipped from his homeland, Rach presented the future of Gotham, Wonder City. Mechanical guardians watched over the population of Wonder City, while behind the scenes, lawbreakers were removed and executed. Wonder Tower stood above it all, a monument of prosperity, but for Rach, the real reason choosing this location was simply beneath the streets. He had located a chemical source that was called Lazarus. In small doses, it would rejuvenate a person, but Rach believed it had enough power. With enough power, the Lazarus could be supercharged to defeat any element, even with death itself. Unknown to all but Rach and his engineers, Wonder Tower was actually a giant lightning rod. By the time it was right, he would test his theory. Because the tower does look like a giant lightning rod, doesn't it? Just 2 more. Wonder City continued to operate for months. before the effect of prolonged exposure to the Lazarus chemical became clear. It was driving the city inhabitants insane. When Ra's al Ghul failed to act, the newly formed Gotham City Hall did. Wonder City was declared a public health hazard and quarantined. Troops dragged the screaming citizens out of their homes straight to Arkham Asylum. Ra's al Ghul disappeared as Gotham reached into the sky. The new neighborhoods built over Wonder City until the site was all but forgotten. Some years later, Ra's returned in need of his old Lazarus Pit. As his forces began the mining process, the streets above collapsed, but Ra's forced them to keep digging. And now the last story, the payphone killer. At first it was just missing people last seen near payphones, but then the bodies started to appear mutilated and posed. Stories of a payphone killer spread fast. As the sound of ringing phones haunted the streets, Mr. Zhao smiled, hiding in the lair he purchased on the broker. He monitored an array of surveillance cameras pointing at each payphone in Arkham City. As each victim answered his call, he acted fast in following them, tracking their movements, and then, when the time was right, killing them. It was perfect. He knew one day he would see Batman holding that phone, and then he would be able to carve his final mark. And that, guys, is it. We are done with all of the patient interview tapes, bios, and stories, and etc. So this is it for Batman Arkham City. I believe I'm done with this game. I have no reason to return to it. So I hope you enjoyed my time with this last video. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And join us next time, as I'll probably finish off some more Arkham Knight. And the next game will possibly be The Last of Us or something else. I don't know. I've got stuff to do. But hope you enjoyed this, guys. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Until then, I will be, joining, what was his name? Kermit the Frog wanted me to join him, so I'll try and see if I can do that. And I also have messages from other players. So, good gaming, God bless, and of course, see you guys later.